rewatch stuff. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was really fun. It's just, like it's always great when people are able to go back and watch through it. And there's so many thousands of things that we've thought about and done that we had fun because we're in the writer's room for season 3 right now in London. And so a couple of them too, I took back into the writer's room and was like,
"You're a goddamn disgrace."
This, can we tell them this? No, we can't.
I hate those guys.
My advice to you is to start drinking heavily.
Oh boy, is this great!
Thank you, God.
I'm Amanda Manethrin, and I approve this message.
Last time on Revisiting the Wheel of Time.
I did not know that they said blowjob. Blowjob works too. So
I've always found that to be the case, but hey, that's just me. Plaid shame Nerdporeal. Because look at Pips. Pips has got his plaid on. Your man Salty's wearing plaid. And we got Mr. Chicago over here who's too cool to get with the program and wear a flannel shirt. Okay, that's not plaid. That's not plaid.
Plaid.
This is what I'm talking about.
Fuck plaid and fuck flannel. Nobody wants any flannel or plaid. I mean, come on. This isn't Spaceballs like Pip said. I did also learn something very important. I didn't know that Dempsey was only worth $18. So
that's not.
He's worth less if you talk to him nicely.
Miss Krista Dempsey, I think you need to get a refund. I think
no, it's not true, Dempsey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Cheap and Irish has always worked for me. I mean, I don't know.
It's so bad. I don't know. I guess you guys want to talk about the prologue? I don't know if any of you guys seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut, but I got a lot of Eyes Wide Shut vibes from this chapter.
I'm not sure I got any of that.
Yeah,
more terrified
people. But,
more terrified people trying not to screw up and die is what I got.
I could see that for the first half, and then the dude with the fiery eyes and the murderer all walk in, and then you're like, everyone is about to piss themselves.
Yeah,
this show has really infected your thinking, Brian.
How connected is Mordeath to the Dark Lord?
Give an answer to that question, and we can kind of respond to your take on it.
Yeah. It's a very definitive answer, so you'll know. Like it's not something you miss. It's just like, oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, 2 weeks by the way.
And now the continuation.
And it's now that time of the month now where we get to talk about the Wheel of Time. I can't wait. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Nerdporeal Reads the Wheel of Time, or the Wheel of Time Revisited, as I call it. But yeah, I'm going to be covering the second portion of the Great Hunt. I plan to do it's going to be a 4-parter. So yeah, so we're going to be covering right where we left off last time. So this week, I have a special guest, and what you know, this is his first time on the Nerdporeal channel. And let's just welcome Pip's comrade, the one and only Dane of the White Cloaks. What's up, Dane? Welcome to the Nerdporeal stream.
Oh, thanks for having me, dude. Pleasure to be here finally.
So, just had to ask: did you recognize a certain franchise that I might be a big fan of from the intro that I tend to conflate with? You know, this one for instance.
What, like Star Trek?
Oh yeah.
Because you weren't wearing flannel for some reason?
No, but you heard the Major Bear, right? And now the continuation. Voyager, Deep Space Nine, TNG, and heck, even Enterprise. You heard. That was one of the constant things about the 90s.
And not wearing. Wait. No, but the constant thing about the 90s was wearing flannel. Like I'm pretty grunge music. I'm pretty sure that was like obligatory. You saying you never wore flannel in the 90s?
Nope. Didn't even know what plaid was until last week. So
You're not Irish, are you?
No.
Okay. Well,
no.
We can drink to that, or can we?
Well, what are you drinking? I got Woodford bourbon, Woodford Reserve Double Oak bourbon. So you're gonna hear the Coke, you gotta hear the cork, and you're gonna pour it out. It's actually really good. I really like it a lot. So
I got some wine, but if all you guys are drinking scotch, I'm going to migrate over to that before we're done. Good stuff too.
Yeah, this is not scotch, it's bourbon.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
So Dane, like I do with all my guest stars, I just love to hear your story. How did you discover Robert Jordan and the Wheel of Time?
Okay, so I started reading this in 1999. I needed something to read on a plane trip over to Europe. In that summer, I was going to Europe with my family. I was about 16 years old. So I needed something. It's an 8-hour plane trip. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get this book. I think I only read the prologue on the plane and had to put it down because it was a little bit too heavy. But it was a 3-week vacation, and I think I read The Eye of the World twice during those 3 weeks. And I was, nice place, southern France, right? It's not too bad during all that. And from there, I couldn't honestly wait to get back home to buy, because that was my problem, right? It's in France, all the fucking books are French, if you believe it. But I couldn't get a copy of the second book because I was on that vacation. Couldn't find an English book anywhere. So by the end of that vacation, I was just antsy to get back to get the second book. And then when I did, I think this was my own misconstruing of the series. I thought that the whole series would basically cover an age in every book. So I was expecting a completely new story with completely new characters for book 2. And then I got The Great Hunt, and I got like 5 chapters into it, and I was like, what? Yeah, okay. No, wait, what? And then still kind of liked it, but I mean, was big into The Eye of the World at the beginning, but I think there was maybe 8 books out when I started. I read through all 8. Then my friend gave me all the spoilers, and I was like, no fucking way. And I had to read it again and confirm that, yeah, he knew all these, because he was already rereading it for every release. And then proto-internet in 1999, 2000, started getting on those fan sites and spoilers and theories and everything like that. And I'd reread the series multiple times before every book release. So I think at the end of the day, I've probably read the early books at least 30 times. So I'm one of those mega nerds on this series. So.
Well, I can't wait to, I honestly can't wait to keep reading The Great Hunt. I mean, one thing I do is I tend to look at what the chapter names are, just get an idea of what to expect. And I'll be honest, I'm really curious what's going to happen, especially with the White Cloaks, especially with Jeff from Bornhall, because last time I saw him, they were marching towards I think it was the Almouth Plain, I believe.
Yeah.
But then they meet up with a questioner dude. I forgot his name, but I'm curious what's going on with that. Like I can't wait to get to read this chapter, read another White Cloak chapter. So,
and I saw from some of your earlier vids on this, you were really liking The Great Hunt. I think more so than The Eye of the World.
Yeah,
that's fair. One thing I'll tell you to kind of reserve judgment is the reason why I like The Eye of the World, and it's probably, I should go out and say it's my favorite book of the series. Like it's the first one that launches off and gets everything going. But it's because I was in that reread community, right? Every new book comes out, you have to reread it. And the beauty of that book is every single time you read it, you find more. You find things that you missed before because he leaves so many breadcrumbs, and some of them aren't actually available to you until you read book 8 or book 9 or book 10. And as a result, if you follow that process of, okay, I'm starting again fresh every time a new volume comes out, you'll pick up more and more. And it's absolutely amazing in terms of things that are buried within the text of that first book when he first started out that are still providing payoffs down the line. So I know you're going to go from book 1 all the way through 14 in the first go ahead, but I'm actually more interested in seeing your reaction upon a reread and on this initial read, if we can just kind of bear that in mind.
I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, once again, Dane, thanks. I appreciate you coming on, and thanks for sharing this. It's all right. Without further ado, let's bring in our 2 additional panelists. So he's no stranger, and I'm going to call him different name this time. It's going to be he's Indiana Manetheren. What's up, sir? Nathan, how you doing? And
living a dream. How are you, brother?
Good. Plaid has returned. The Plaid is returned with a vengeance.
Yes, because unlike you, I did grow up in the 90s. Therefore, plaid was a requirement.
I grew up in the 90s too.
But I think you're what, 10 years younger than I am? So
roughly. I was born in the 80s.
Nathan, it might not be that. I think he was just maybe not allowed to listen to grunge music.
I don't think I ever got into grunge music. I'm more, I don't know, more into, upbeat music, 80s, 70s.
He's walking on sunshine. Let's not deny
there we go. That's right. Yeah, I can't say that I'm a huge fan of grunge myself. I will say Pearl Jam is easily so much better than Nirvana. Nirvana is trash as far as I'm concerned. But to each their own. So and Jaden, no, I am actually in Ohio. That's why you can see my breath.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. It was snowing over here, so.
Oh yeah, we got hit pretty hard this morning. So,
all right.
But yeah, so thanks again for having me on, Brian. This is good, and it's good to see you, Dane.
Thanks, Nathan. Good to see you as well.
All right, and he's not going to be the final panelist, but he is. Y'all know him. Y'all know him. He's probably has a drink in his hand. He's pouring a drink right now, actually, as I see it. It's dark out. He's wearing sunglasses. Hey, Pips. What's up, Pips? How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm liking it, repping it as well. I just want to say, Nirvana, yeah, I mean they're from Seattle though, right? So realistically, what can you expect?
Wow. Yes, I think the grunge scene itself is from Seattle. So yeah.
Again, I say the same thing.
Yeah, I've never been to those places, and now after what I've seen last few years, I don't think I ever will. Don't ever want to. And plus, it rains all the time in Seattle, anyways.
Holy shit! And he's saying this from Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's looking over the top of the fence, not quite yet.
Chicago has its problems, but it has good food. The part of the city I'm in is actually pretty cool.
Glass fucking houses is all I'm saying.
But Chicago doesn't have the summer of love. I mean, really.
Does Seattle have that though?
Yeah, that's what the mayor said. It was the summer of
did.
love during Chad or
I did claim
whatever
it,
they renamed it to.
Yeah, yeah, and just like that mayor, this mayor here, who I can't wait to. I hope to see is out of office.
Yeah, Blowfish
did
McGee.
the same exact thing, and once things heated up close to where they lived, then they called in the cavalry to straighten things up, and that's all I'll say. So,
Up is down, good is bad, changing language. If you guys need like 1984, you should just read that one.
honestly,
Everything's defined by its
I
opposite.
think we're on our way in a
All
brave
right.
new world type of deal, in my opinion.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just remember, Soylent Green is people.
Yeah, I still have not seen that movie. I probably should at some point.
Me neither. That's the only line I know.
That's same here. All right,
I'm not going to eat the bugs because it's people.
Oh my god, there's actually a grasshopper place not too far from me.
Fuck off. Glass houses, Chicago. All I'm saying.
All right, so you guys ready to talk about the great hunt?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Although I should actually rep the grasshopper. That's actually like a decent cocktail.
That's a what?
I think
It's
he's talking about the
cocktail.
alcoholic version, not the like protein shakes
Yes.
that your local CrossFitters trying to get you in.
It's a mint drink. I believe. I think I've only had it once or twice, but it was tasty. It's tasty.
Nothing says health food like getting served by a man with a man bun.
You're just saying that because you don't have any hair on your head, Nathan.
Yeah, but it's all down where I'd like it, where I can see it.
All right, so before we start, cheers, everybody.
Oh, by the way, Dane, I'm actually drinking some homemade sake tonight, so don't
excellent.
feel too pressed to go into some bourbon.
Okay.
Although it's fine if you do.
Interesting.
All right.
All right, so where did we leave off? So last time we talked about, I think our heroes kind of split off. So the boys went off on to hunt the horn with Ingtar and a few of his men, and Nynaeve and Egwene went with the Amerlin seat back to Tar Valon. So yeah, so we got a nice little send off there. So they had a recent attack. The great horn of Valair was taken. Matt's dagger was taken, and Podden Fane, however you pronounce his name properly, escapes. And there was, he had this little message saying, "We'll meet again on Tillman Head, Althor. The battle is never over." And then we got that great little poem from that Trolloc poem. I'm curious if it was Fane who wrote that. If we ever find out who wrote that, blood meets blood, something.
Doesn't it explicitly say who wrote it when Varen and them were talking about it?
No,
This is pretty sure they say.
I don't think it's Fane. There's information in the poem or the prophecy itself that he would not be privy to. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They mentioned Lanfear, but they don't think it's her that wrote it.
Yeah, they mentioned the daughter of night. She walks again. They mention Luke met Ism in the high passes. That's something Fane would never have known about. And I believe it was in Trolloc's script originally, or was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So from what's on the wall, what's probably was written by Fane was, "We will meet again on Toman Head." So the message to Rand, but the text, which is then and Rand wants to wash that away, right? And that's what Leandrin interrupts him doing. But the actual text that you as the reader get is through Varen's translation of that text, because she knows the Trolloc script. So that's where you get the additional info dump. But that would that can't have come from Fane and likely came from the Trollocs. or a Murdral
So
if they were with them.
So she makes a statement specifically to the difference between a Trolloc and a Murdral. I think she says something that a Trolloc wouldn't have as good of a hand. Essentially,
they would boast quite a bit. The Trolloc.
Yeah, so I think she says something like, "Yeah, some dark friends might know some words in Trolloc or something like that." And a Trolloc's hand would never be so neat, and would have, they normally boast and just talk about, blood and violence and stuff.
And they're not.
And so my recollection was that, my recollection was that she pretty much said explicitly that it was one of the Fades that did it. Although that's her interpretation of events, not necessarily complete and accurate knowledge. But
yeah, so I thought, so I can't, once again, I can't wait to see how this pays off. I mean, based on what you guys have said, there might be several books later where something, comes back and then we get a nice little follow up. So I can't wait. I can't wait to keep.
I got a quick question. Did you guys quiz him on Luke and Ism and who those are? Because he would have encountered both of them prior to this. But it requires the reading comprehension / note taking of a lunatic in order to basically make that connection.
I don't think we asked him, mainly because generally I don't know if we ask him that many questions. I guess mostly we just kind of have a conversation. But
that one we left is pretty much a read and find out, an unspoken read and find out.
Oh, it is. It's just if you're I think. When Moraine is in the room with the Amerlin, when Varen is reciting what was written, she, in her inner monologue, knows who Ism is. So you read that in the paragraph. And the other two Aes Sedai don't, right? It's Lan's cousin, so to speak. And Varen says throughout, Luke could be Lord Luke, who was Tigraine, he was the Prince of the Sword of Andor. But what the two have in common, no one knows. But if that hasn't been hinted at yet,
I think Isam was mentioned in the Eye of the World when
Agomar is giving his history.
Is talking about,
and Luke was mentioned by.
They were never seen again. Him and his mother were never seen again. Yeah, and then Moraine kind of reiterates that story. In her monologue in this book. So once again, one thing I've noticed is that the ideas that were in the first book get reintroduced by Jordan in case, just in case people forgot certain details.
Yeah, but this is the beauty of it. It's it's a breadcrumb in a 600-page book, and he'll drop one crumb in book 1, he'll drop another crumb in book 2. He might not drop a crumb at all in book 3, and then by book 4, it's a central plot point. So anyways, all I had to say too is Luke was mentioned, but it was that farmer who is hauling Rand and Matt into Camelin, giving the whole backstory about all the royal family and stuff. So anyways, I think Brian, up to you, but did we want to get to easing the badger and a bunch of sex jokes?
Sex jokes. Huh.
Well, what the heck is easing the badger, man?
Okay. I see now. Okay. I didn't think about that. I say. But yeah, so my first time I actually got to read a chapter in Ilion. So we haven't seen Bail Doman since the Whitebridge chapter of Eye of the World, if I remember correctly. That was the last time, Matt, Rand, and Tom got off the ship, and they go to I forget the name of the dude that got kicked off of the spray. But this guy just started causing trouble for him at the end. What was his name? Gelb.
Florin Gelb.
I'm just curious. I might have asked this, and if it's a read and find out, I'll happily drink to that. Do we see him again? Gelb?
You do. Is it important?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, you meet him in book 4 again.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I drank to it anyways. But yeah, so we got to see Bail Doman again, get a nice little description of him. I kind of think he's he's just a pirate captain, got the beard. He looks like the first mate in Pirates of the Caribbean. Just, once again, cool character.
Honestly, if Nathan trimmed his beard a bit and shaved the mustache off, that would probably be your Bail Doman right there.
Yeah.
Although, no, honestly, when I'm thinking about it now and looking at your chin, if you just grew your cheeks out a little bit, Nerdporeal, you would be a good Bail Doman.
Oh yeah, get some of those mutton chops going on.
I had mine when I was a senior in college. I tried to imitate season 3 Captain Kirk, 1968-69 Captain Kirk. I still have pictures of it on Facebook. I look so bad. Everybody laughed at me when they saw those pictures online. So
the only problem is you need a pretty thick Dutch accent in order to be a proper Illianer.
I noticed that's the one thing I noticed. Like the dialect was very different compared to other chapters. Like I had to rewind because I this chapter. I actually first listened to the audio to Michael Kramer and everything. And I had to rewind a few times because I was like, what did he say? What did they say?
I'm pretty sure the only major dialogue change that he makes is he basically conflates no and not. That's the one consistent thing that he does. And obviously he can basically overemphasize it by speaking in the negative far more than other characters do. But I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that's typical about Illianer's speech. The great thing is Jordan does this throughout the series. So every Illianer that you meet is not going to say not. They say, oh, I do know, be thinking that be the case, yar. Little bit of pirate speak, but I'm pretty sure that's the only thing. Like even Teslin, who you meet in like book 7 or 8, speaks like that. It's great.
And I'll say this: I like this. I like this portion of the chapter quite a bit. Like I felt, I just felt the tension of what was going on. So you know what that means. The fact that I like this chapter, that means this will definitely not be adapted in Wheel of Prime. I'm calling it now. So they
who the fuck is Bail Doman in the?
Exactly. Exactly. So, but. Like he goes to the inn, easing the badger, and he sits down and he gets a job. These guys from I think Kirheen, I believe Kirheen.
Kyrian.
Kyrian.
If you need a guide on pronunciations, I'm the fucking
in the glossary.
worst.
I didn't. That's one word I didn't look up in the glossary. But okay, Kyrian. And Kyrian, one thing I've read so far, I'll say this, especially in the last chapter that I got to, Kyrian is known for the game of I'm just going to say the Game of Thrones, kind of. They played the game, or the Great Game, as Tyrion.
The Great Game, Deus de Mar, the Game of Houses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Another word for politics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm curious what's going on with this. So he gets offered this job, 1,000 gold, probably the biggest job he's ever had. And he's probably thinking, this is too good to be true. They're like, we'll give you 200 now. Then we'll give you like another 600 when you deliver this message to, I forget the name of the city. Was it
Mayen?
Mayen.
Mayen.
Right? I got the chapter up in front of me. And, yeah, it just I thought of Star Wars. I thought of Star Wars with Obi-Wan offering Han Solo. We could give you 2,000 now plus 15 once we get to Alderaan. That deal. That's kind of
makes sense.
Thing that I thought of. Couldn't help it. And they're like, okay. And Bale's like, okay, yeah, just give me the money. He looked at the money. Give me the letter. I'll do it. That's great. Thank you.
But what about that money? What was that money?
It was Tar Valon. It was from Tar Valon. So, do I know exactly what that means? Well, I know Tar Valon's where the Aes Sedai are. So, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to insinuate. So, I probably have to.
Where is he though?
He's in Ilion.
And what do they think about the Tar Valon witches?
I forget.
They do not like them. It's illegal.
Not
or no,
so
wait.
much. It's not so
that's
much.
that's a closer region, but they still don't like them.
Amador would be a problem, but I think Bale Doman's inner monologue notes like 1 or 2 coins in a handful would be all right, but he just got handed like 200, 300 gold coins, like you say, and they're all
so he smells. Okay, you're right.
Well,
so yeah, I forgot now. Yeah, he smells something fishy.
I think his point was, as an Ilianer showing up with a bunch of Tarvalon gold, like, yep, they don't need much of an excuse to do stuff in the best of times.
Yeah, that's kind of this is what provokes him into getting the hell out of there.
Yeah,
exactly, in tier.
But what is this ultimately all about, Brian? What do you think's going on here?
What do I think is going on? Well, he has something that somebody wants. He's got something that somebody wants ultimately. As the chapter, as the story progresses, he has something that people want. And one thing we learn is that, well, people are after him. He said, I think he says so. Trollocs are after him. Dark Friends are after him. And things have been weird. Like his men have been getting killed. Like a third guy got killed in Ilion. One of his men got killed. I don't know if that has much to do with it or they just got into trouble. Who knows? But there are people after him. And, well, he goes back to the ship. And he, like the thing was, it's I believe it was sealed in wax, typical, letter, sealed in wax and everything. Not allowed to open it, only for, the only thing he's supposed to do is deliver it. Well, he opens it. He manages to open it. He looks at the contents. And the letter says that he's a dark friend, that they're supposed to take custody of him and especially take custody of everything he owns.
Ooh. Who wrote the letter? Do you remember?
What's up?
Who wrote the letter? Do you remember?
It was supposed to be the king of Kyrian, I believe. And the thing is, he's not sure if it was forged or not. I believe that's if I remember correctly. Mm. So we're kind of curious if that actually came from the king or if somebody else impersonated.
Yeah, Galdrian himself or somebody who is very familiar with his hand is, I think, what Bale decides, right?
Maybe his top
advisor. Which always struck me as a weird statement from Bale. Like, why would Bale know?
I don't think he knows. I think the actual language there, Pips, is someone who, it wouldn't have doubted him that Galdrian would have thought that it was written by his own hand. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it's a weird thing for him to even contemplate whether or not, looking at it, is it authentic? And there's a line in there that makes it sound like, it looks like a good forgery. And you're like, how do you know a good forgery if you've never seen the guy's hand? You know what I mean? It's always been one of those things that I just kind of,
Yeah. If it was not the king himself who had signed it, he suspected that whoever had made had made a good imitation of Galdrian's scrawl. So basically, if you're going to the trouble of forging his seal and pretending to be him, you're probably writing his signature in the same way.
I just think, why would anybody? So he's going to Mayenne, right? So why would the Dockmaster and Mayenne have any reason to recognize Galdrian's hand, right? So it just seems like one of those weird things where
the seal is how. So the seal combined with the signature, there would probably be some combination, but as they work the signatures out. All right, if this is your massive plan to get Bale Doman in trouble, your master plan to trip him up, if you're relying on the Dockmaster of Mayenne to arrest Bale Doman, they probably have some documentation there that can match seals and signatures together.
Yeah, that seems that. Like I said, I'm not saying this is some sort of a hole or anything like that. It's just something that I recall from this interaction that I always thought was a little odd, because I'm like, medieval to Renaissance period, it's a big world. The guy hasn't been king for that long.
So he's not an old king now?
And it's
he's been king for a while, I thought.
Not like yesterday, right? I think he's 10 years or something like that. But the point is, he's the king of a different and sort of far off land from Mayenne. It just seems like not something that the Dock Masters in Mayan would know. The plan seems like it's based on the fact that like you're an Ilianer and you got some sketchy gold, and let's do this. Also, yeah,
he was king since the Aiel War, so he's been king for almost 20 years.
Okay.
So you're saying that there was zero time after Layman's death, and like he was, the next day in Galdrian.
They kicked the Damodrids out, and then Galdrian Riotin became the new king.
I just will say that this is never based off of this. This was never based off of anything sort of canon. I just always assumed that Kyrian had a little bit of a civil war after the Aiel War.
Yeah, that's your head.
Because you come in, the houses have changed, the city was burned down. Like, I don't know.
Spoilers. Okay, now
we know that the city was burned in the Aiel War.
Well, let's get back to like the key plot point, because obviously debating Kyrian Mayan relations, although we find it interesting, I could probably see Nathan would pull out his hair if he had any, and same with Brian. He kind of wants to get going, like right off his chest, right?
I'm enjoying this. What can I say?
I'd be like 40-year-old virgin. This is not a good look for me.
All right. But Brian, what is it then? Because you're right to hone in on Baal Doman's collection, but what is the item?
I mean, he has I forget. He has 3 things. He's got like a skull, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's got a skull.
Yep.
He's got one of those. He's got a glow stick or a light rod. So they rave. I guess they rave in Randland or in. So yeah, yep.
It's basically a flashlight, right?
Yeah, I think I forget. Doesn't that stem from the Age of Heroes, or it's old.
It's an Age of Legends glow stick.
Yeah, because from one thing the show told me, the Wheel of Prime show told me, it's a futuristic series. They hop in galaxies, they're hopping universes, flying cars, flying things in the air and everything.
If you've got a fucking tube filled with neon gas and you bring that close to a Tesla coil or anything with like an electric charge, it'll light up. Just saying, fluorescent lights.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
But yeah, so but the third item that he has, and this is important, and this is, ever since I read A Song of Ice, been reading A Song of Ice and Fire, and from strictly from point of view setup and everything, you have to pay attention to the details. And the thing is, I just read Eye of the World. I remembered how the stone, or not the stone, the seal, the Dark One seal is described. It's it's made of Quendalar. It's got the sinuous lines, and it's got the ancient symbol of Aes Sedai, if I remember correctly. And I was like, shit, he has the seal of the Dark One. No wonder why they're after him. They're right there.
Yeah.
I was like, I felt good knowing that. It felt so good to know that detail. I don't know why, but it did.
So you're suggesting that maybe sometimes thinking everybody's out to get you is just superstition, unless they're all out to get you.
Yeah, and especially in an epic fantasy, because if it was the case where it was superstition, I'd be disappointed, because you read these to experience. You want bad stuff. You want your characters to be in danger. As a horrible piece of shit I am, that's what I want to see in stories. So yeah. Also, if fictional characters were real, they'd hate my fucking guts.
Because what did Doman say when Rand, Matt, and Tom kind of got aboard the Spray?
Oh, I don't remember exactly, but I think, didn't he say something like?
So not exact words, but he talked about it's like, oh, these Trollocs and stuff like that.
So I guess I forget. Like, didn't he make it sound like this is not a first?
Yeah, but Baal Doman had been chased since Saldea, where he got the ice peppers,
all the way down the river.
Yeah.
So he actually thought that it wasn't Rand and Matt and Tom that brought the Trollocs to the ship. He thought this is just a continuation of the harassment that he had been getting ever since he left Meridon.
That's why I didn't.
That's why he was so
That's why I
easily
didn't-
able to discard Gelb's complaints about Rand and Matt.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
The other great thing about Bail Doman too is like when they see that spire, and then he starts kind of waxing poetic about all the different things that he had seen in the world, things relics from the Age of Legends like White Bridge, that hand on Tremalking, that other thing that like anyone who gets within a mile of it dies. There's just
funny because the last chapter I read, they referenced him talking about him mentioning that, and because they get to, I forget what the name of the village is, but they're close to Kyrian.
Tremontian.
In my
Tremontian,
yeah. But yeah, that's
Bail Doman will come back, but yeah, that was a great vehicle for doing world building, right? You introduce one worldly kind of ship captain character, who actually likes traveling and seeing all the weird stuff around the world. So,
and not a
it's
weak
good
character. Like I don't see how he could be a character in modern entertainment. Like he's not a weak character by any means. It's pretty awesome. And
what is he going to do?
Well, he's going to go west. He's going west, young man. He's going west.
Oh.
He's going the opposite direction because
I
once
heard-
he found out the contents of the letter, he's like, "Fuck this! I'm taking the money and I'm running."
I
And he's
heard
like,
there are
"What-
rumors of some trouble shit going on out west.
Yeah, they're. I think they going. Where's he going to? Ebao Dar, and
Abu
then
Dar.
Elmeth Plain. Elmeth Plain is where the white folks are. At least Jeffrem is. Jeffrem Bornhall. You know, your dad.
Yeah, they're around there. Yeah.
And wait, where did Pat and Fane say he was going to meet Rand?
Toman Head. And that's
Where's that?
in Elmeth Plain, I believe.
So we've got all these plot threads converging quite nicely for Brian. All right.
Yep. So I'm really curious how this is all going to play out. Like this is, I like it when things are kind of coming together. It just makes you wonder, like, how is this all going to play out? Like this is gonna be crazy. You know.
Yes, this is called intentional writing. It's not what they do for the show.
What show? Oh, that show. Oh, the show that.
No, we've enemaed that out of our heads. There, Nathan. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good.
You're only saying that because you didn't watch last night.
I told these guys I was getting a sandpaper hand job, and that sounded more pleasant than fucking rewatching that show. So I stand by it. I was like, there was barely any sand left on the paper.
It was better. It was way better than the show itself. Like it was.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's like every single thing you cut from that show is going to improve it. Doesn't mean it's good. It's just
for me. And we won't rehash this and take over Brian's stream of this. For me, the thing that I wanted to do is have a conversation with the guy and just kind of pick his brain on like, hey, obviously, like you said, like we said before, obviously the best show is the one where you literally cut every single scene and then there's 0 scenes left. And that's the best version of the Wheel of Prime. And so the question was like, what was your like, why did you do this? Why did you spend hundreds of hours? Like what was going through your mind? And like, how did you figure out which piece of like sort of sloppy kind of runny feces over here save versus like the hard sort of, you know, kind of just sort of condensed, you know, I just wanted to hear his thoughts, have the conversation. And honestly, I found him to be a pretty compelling and interesting guy. I really enjoyed the conversation, and that's all I will say about it.
I liked him a lot. I thought he had great attitude, great person to have on. And to just
it's great
to have a discussion with someone who doesn't, you know, who disagrees on a few things. So I mean, I'm with you, Pips, on that. So, but watching that series was just like, I had to look at death on my face because I rewatched the stream this morning. I was like, whoa, holy shit! No wonder why. I was like, I must have. I don't know what was going on with me. I don't know. Maybe I was seeking the void. That's what I was doing. I was seeking the void, and I think I was experiencing the light, and I started getting nauseous. It was warm but nauseous at the same time.
You were sitting there.
That's why that little clip in the intro. That's why I put that little intro thing right there because you know, little
you're
detail,
deep within the void.
All right,
and
you
you could sense the pulsing of Sidene with the rancid taint.
Yep.
All right, wait. All right, let's get back to the hunt. Right, the hunt begins.
Yeah, the hunt does begin. So so chapter 9. So we got quite a few more chapters to cover. So I believe this chapter, I think, was the one that really impressed me. I think chapter 10. So we're back with Rand, and they are on the hunt now. They are on the hunt for the horn and everything. So they're going south. Huron is sniffing the trail. And, like usual, Rand is still having issues with Perrin and Matt. They won't ride with him. They think he's an asshole because, he's wearing all these fancy clothes now because Moraine sabotaged his wardrobe, literally. And, so they're just, so he really wants to make things right with them. And it's just, it's crazy. It's just crazy. They follow these Trolloc tracks. And we get to talk about, we get to see Uno. Uno keeps looking at him in a weird way. And the thing that was interesting is the thing that I don't know if it was this chapter that reveals it, but we find out that Rand is actually number 2. Like, if something happens to
later.
Ingtar, huh?
That's not until later. That was
in a later chapter.
That was right before the camping in the bowl, just a little bit before that. After the fade and the other stuff.
Yeah, so,
towards the end of the separation. But
so this chapter had blink, and then the dead Murdral is where it ended, I believe.
Yeah, that I do remember. So what I'm believing is, so like I said, we have so the whole thing with Matt and Perrin is continued, and they're riding, they're going as fast as they can, but they have to stop. So
wait. But here's a question for you, Brian. Where are they going? Right? You'd think Murdral, you'd think they have the horn. Why would they be going north into the Blight? And they seem to be going south. And then they seem to be going north in the morning, south in the afternoon, north in the morning, south in the afternoon. Did you pick up on what's going on?
Yeah, I did pick up on what's going on. But that won't be revealed till later.
Yeah.
So
you've read far enough that gets revealed. Yeah.
Yes. And the reason why I included, my question from last week about, whether Mordeth and the Dark One have like the same objective. That was another doubt. I believe in the chapter that we're going to be currently thinking about right now is what's going to be answered. So yeah, we'll get to that. So, but yeah, like I said, Moraine completely sabotages his wardrobe. We find, like Ingtar reveals this to him. Uno is staring at him.
Sabotages.
Wait.
At least that's how he feels. That's how he feels. He wants to wear his usual farmer sheep herder.
But who can feel pretentious like a lord when you're dressed in feathers like Lord Ingtar is in the show?
Lord Agumar. But yeah.
I don't think we see Ingtar in the show. Was Ingtar in the show?
I think we do. I think he's somewhere there. I will say though that Rand didn't get his wardrobe sabotaged. Moraine queer-eyed him.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh,
fabulous dragon.
Honestly, Brian, all I could think of was when the show came out and you started seeing Shinarans in like fucking peacock feather costumes. I was just like, how the fuck is Rand going to have his Shinaran coat? Like, it's a plot point. They're going to solve it by not having him part of the Great Hunt at all, but whatever. I got offended by the show again.
Yeah, we don't talk about that here. At least we try not to.
Good.
But
all right.
Going back, so the other big thing that is revealed is that we have two characters, two people. Uno, who I thought was number 2 for the longest time. With the one with the, I think he has the eye patch. He has only a single eye.
An easy way to remember is his name literally means one.
Yeah,
or one eye.
So was that a nickname? Does he have a real name, or they just call him Uno?
They call him Uno.
Uno's his real name.
Uno is his real name.
Isn't
it Uno Nameshta?
Yeah, Uno Nameshta. It's just a writer's thing where it's like the one-eyed guy is named Uno.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense, I guess.
Well, it only means one, like not in Randland. Like that's
Could also mean
That's true. He's
All
a good
right.
tracker. He probably knows Marine's tell.
Yep. And he was staring, and so Uno was staring at
Couldn't help myself.
Rand
Yeah.
for the longest time. Same with this other guy, Massima, and they both have. And Rand's like just freaked out. He asks Inktar's like, "What's with these guys? What's their problem? Do they have a beef with me?" And Inktar's like, "Well," and this is what I like about Inktar. He knows his men really well. He probably talks to them. He knows them well. And that's to me makes a part of what makes a good leader, knowing your men and everything. But I'm not a military guy. Pips, you would know this better than I would, because I'm just a dumb civilian. But like Uno, for instance, is keeps staring at Rand because he's wondering. He's kind of measuring him, like, is he worthy of the Heron Blade? Because Heron Blade, is a big deal in the last couple books. Like, people see that, and shit's gonna go down. Like the whole thing in Camelin with the court, like they saw his Heron Blade, and they're like, "Whoa, what does this do? Whoa, what's going on here?"
A shepherd with a heron-marked sword, and then all of a sudden, every fucking soldier around him gets tense and like half empty, like half draws their sword out. And Gareth Bryn,
I like that
Gareth
Bryn's
Bryn's like
a thing, right?
It belongs with him. I don't know how, but it belongs with him. It was fucking epic scene. But yeah. Sorry, Brian.
The Kyrianan captain mentions no Kyrianan has ever achieved the Heron so young, right? So it continues to be remarked.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I'm getting too far, but I loved that chapter where he's using the sword and he's using what Land taught him. Oh, I love that. I was like, because it was set up perfectly.
Talking some Shadow Killer? Shadow Killer?
No, he's not there yet.
I'm only getting ahead of myself. I love that. I just love that. I was like, holy.
He's talking Shadow Killer. He's talking forms. He's fighting the fucking Trollocs, and he's killing them poetically.
I went into that chapter like I was scared for him because I wasn't sure how skilled he was at that point. Now I know he was training with Land, but I didn't see any actual fighting.
Read and find out.
I know, but when I saw, I was like, holy crap, he is awesome. Like I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see more of this. So, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This is chapters down the line. Like I read that today. Literally.
You're gonna have some boar rushes down the mountains, some friggin' stag of four prongs. You're gonna have some stuff.
Yeah,
I love the sword forms
and shit. Yeah.
Yep, I love the sword form names. It's like a meme.
Yeah,
about,
I do too.
Real time.
What's funny
is
that imagine in your head about. Well, sorry, Pips, but the part of it's so great is you can imagine in your head what every maneuver actually does. Without him having to describe, oh, this form does this move, then that, and then a counter riposte to this. He just bundles it all into one in some nice poetic language and leaves it at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny though. It also is one of those things that marks the difference between Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan in writing. So there's one of those like word plot things that kind of shows the different language used in the different books. And one of the ones is that the named sword forms are used like more in the final 3 books, which admittedly contains the last battle, lots of fighting and stuff, right? More in the final 3 books than in the previous 11 books altogether. And plus the prologue or the prequel rather. So it's just one of those things where like the fans really loved the language, but Robert Jordan actually used it with a fair amount of efficiency. He was actually fairly sparing with it because of what Dane was saying, that it actually is a very efficient way to kind of give sort of a evocative idea of what's happening without having to go on like overly long. And then you see like a fan who is writing in this world and is sort of caught up in all the things that the fans really like, and just like explodes all over the page with all of these sword form names. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll get to that by book 12, but it's good that you're
yeah.
You're liking it so far.
I like that. But like the other thing that was noticed about Rand from this other guy, Massima, is that Massima was a veteran, I believe, of the Aiel War, and he sees Rand for what he may be. Rand will deny it.
Massima was not. I don't think he's canonically a veteran of the Aiel War. I don't think he's old enough, because that's 20 years ago. I think he was a veteran of the Eastern Marches.
Yes.
So he's in the border region between Shinar and the Aiel Waste.
Skirmishes.
Okay, so there were still skirmishes and everything. So he's fought the Aiel several times.
Yeah.
And he knows an Aiel when he sees one, and he sees Rand resembles an Aiel.
Yeah.
An Aiel. And
which is always kind of an interesting thing in the series, because the Shinarans are the only people that have that in like back and forth with the Aiel, right? Like everyone else in the entire world, to include the ones that have a border, right, which is really just Kyrian and I guess kind of Tyr and Mayenne, right? They pretty much like
Tyr,
the Aiel.
Tyr and Mayenne wouldn't. Tyr and Mayenne
it stopped
wouldn't
short
have
of
it.
I get that. I'm just saying that like all of the other ones, the Aiel pretty much stay in the waste and have no interest in going into wetlands. They came out once, right? Meanwhile, the Shinarans are apparently just constantly skirmishing with the Aiel, which is like an interesting thing that I think is sometimes overlooked. And it says a lot about the Shinarans in that like the Aiel and the Shinarans are both warlike sort of warrior cultures. And you know, in the military, you'll sometimes hear people say, you know, steel sharpens steel, which is one of those stupid phrases that people say. But I will say, I think that that's always been how I've rationalized this reason behind, like, why is it that the Aiel are just fighting with the Shinarans? The Shinarans wouldn't want to go into the waste, and the Aiel don't want to go into the wetlands, right? What's happening there? And my idea was always that
your
the
predication there, I think, is incorrect. Who wouldn't want to go into the waste? And that we've already established that silks and peppers and ivory and all these other fine luxury goods come from lands beyond
the Shinarans. The Shinarans aren't going to do that. Come on. I look at it saying that that young men on both sides of that border go and test themselves against a respected adversary is the way that I always interpreted that. That these sort
you're
of
probably more right than I am.
The two are a thing. Like it's the reason that the Aiel know. I'll save that. Forget that I said anything about that. The Shinarans and the Aiel fight each other because they're both, mutually respectful warrior cultures that share a border. It's kind of an interesting idea.
Testing their mettle against each other. But Brian, I got a question for you. What do we learn about the Aiel from this early chapter, this chapter 10? Do we learn anything, or is that a little bit later? I'm sorry, but I'm definitely sure it's in this section that we're reading. But we get some cool tidbits about the Aiel culture, more so than this. Honestly, might be in a later chapter.
Honestly, I wouldn't remember precisely.
Oh dear. Okay. Actually, I think this is in a later chapter, because chapter 10 was that village with the blinking, and then the half man with the nails through his eyeballs that weren't there.
I think let's get back. I think that's a good lead in. Let's get back to that. You had a pretty strong response to both of these two scenes in our Discord kind of channel as you were reading it. So like hit us with it, man. Like tell the people what they want to hear.
I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that paragraph, right? So
okay.
So what happens is, for the chat to know, they get to an encampment. They get to an encampment, and they smell murder. They get to a river. They get to a village along the river, and it's abandoned. But here's the one weird thing, and I'm curious how that's going to play out. Uno sees a woman, and then she vanishes. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So
read and find out.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a drink now. But yeah, so that, and then they cross the river. They find, I think they find a body and something, and then they get to a village. And before anything, we got he's late, but you know what? He made the thumbnail, so I forgive him. What's up, Steve?
It's not my fault. You can blame
You
can blame the guy that you can blame the guy that was supposed to cover me an hour ago and didn't show up. But yeah, so
was that what happened? Oh,
yeah, that's what happened. I'm thrilled. How's it going?
Well, I mean, we're on chapter 10. We're about to get to Blink. We're about to get to.
Okay.
Right.
10, yeah.
It wasn't just some nobodies, Brian. It was freaking Changu and Nisao, who were the like guardsmen.
Oh,
they got skinned.
True.
They got skinned alive.
That's right.
They were the jailers of Padden Fane.
Yeah, they were the ones that Padden Fane was, because of his evil, was kind of taking over. I think they were the ones that were becoming nastier and nastier as Egwene was visiting them or something. At least that was, I think, her observation.
Guys, he's hinting on, because they get the burial, right? They get the last embrace of the mother. Ingtar tells them to bury them, but he doesn't say that for that other guy who could have just been like a random dark friend, right? They ride on from that. But Changu and Nisao saved Lord Agomar at.
They saved Lord Agomar at Tarwin's Gap.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So what's great here, and it's good that you picked up on this, Brian, is Padden Fane has a corrupting influence, like all of Shadow Logoth does. That's like key to understanding. Everybody who like hangs out too close to that fucker can no longer be trusted.
Yeah, that's true. And so they get to this village. And there's nothing but a bunch of bodies. It's quiet. The scene was so well put together. Them entering the town, you hear nothing but the clacking of hooves and I think the wind. And as I was reading it, like I was getting creeped out. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
Well, the bodies don't come later, but this is where
they charged the town in 4 directions, right?
No,
they charged the town together.
Or did they? All I know about this one is this is where in chapter 10, at least, this is where you get the blink scene, right? So this is
that where Perrin goes in, right? No, or am I a different?
That's a bit later. So this is Blink, and Rand gets the scene with the flies.
So what's the Blink thing? Well, you know what? He goes into a house. He sees flies. He sees like a roast. He's like a half carved roast. And yeah, I mean the dishes are set. It's just like the people just walked up and left, just randomly left. They were eating dinner, or they left, or maybe something bad happened. Something bad must have happened. Blink. A smiling, bald-headed man in rough clothes laid a slice of meat on a plate held by a woman with a worn face. She was smiling too, though. She added peas and turnips to the plate and passed it to one of the children lining the table. There were half a dozen children, boys and girls, from near grown down to barely tall enough to look over the table. The woman said something, and the girl, taking the plate from her, laughed. The man started to cut another slice.
Is this a read along? When did this happen?
Suddenly,
just check.
Steve, great Steve. Come on.
Suddenly, another girl screamed, pointing at the door to the street.
Steve.
The man dropped the carving knife and whirled. Then he screamed too, the face tight with horror, and snatched up a child. The woman grabbed another and motioned desperately to the others, her mouth working frantically, silently. They all scrabbled toward a door in the back of the room. That door burst open and Blink. So this is repeated 3 freaking times. The almost exact word. I was scanning these paragraphs to see if there was a difference in wording. There's one in the second paragraph. In the second paragraph, it says They all scrabbled toward the door in the back of the room. And I think at one point it says they scrabbled toward the door in the back of a room. I think. But yeah, it was repeated 3 times.
So, Brian, I'm going to burst your bubble. No, I'm going to burst your bubble right here. I unfortunately own this in a later print edition.
Yeah.
And I just quickly looked at your observation, and they fixed the A versus. No, it's not wrong in that we all like first editions versus, but it's the room in all 3 paragraphs in my later edition. So an editor eventually caught this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just something I had to. It was just something I noticed, so I was curious.
You're not wrong for digging into it, because this is precisely the type of anal retentive behavior that's typical of the Wheel of Time fandom as this was coming out. Like, very fucking typical. Like, holy shit, this thing's repeated 3 times. What's the one word that's changed? The versus a. What does this mean? That's exactly what they would do. But like when a guy named Torval is mentioned in book 6, the first edition, his name is fucking different like the 7 times he's mentioned. It's all fixed by the second printing or the ebook edition. So
hey, I think does anyone else hear?
I heard 5 signals go off all at once.
Yeah, I hear a signal.
Sorry, that was for me. Sorry, that was for me. I was looking at my stream.
It's really
yeah. It sounds like a Mike Ehrmantraut type person. 5 times.
I didn't hear shit.
Oh,
did I do it?
No, Dane. No, Dane. There's definitely something in there.
Yeah, that was
it's really kind of, it's high pitched.
It's ringing. Sounds like gunshots.
So yeah, we got 5. We got a generosity donation from Magitech Mags, gifted 5 Nerdporeal 5 Nerdporeal memberships. Well, thank you, Mags. Mags is taking a break from social media, so once again, thank you for doing this. She's been winning this generosity war across all platforms and across multiple campaigns. So I just have to say once again, thank you. So I have 5 videos for 5 different. People. So let's start. Like, once again, you know who's back? Nas is back as Nas is once again a sponsor. So let's give Nas something that would be good.
I figured, What am I supposed to do here, Mikey?
What are we supposed to do with
the perfect one for Nos too, I think, right there. Like, I think that's perfect. Just smacking Nos around a little bit.
Yeah, and then we got once again Stephen Ransom has become a sponsor. I haven't seen him on in a while, but Stephen, if you're here, here's one for you.
I think I take him now. Shut up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, shut up. Yeah, please, just shut up, Mikey.
Is that guy from Breaking Bad? Sorry, that actor.
Catch up, Dane. Catch up, man. You're behind. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Banks. It's Jonathan Banks. So, yeah. So
okay.
We got
Brian. The next time I say something like that, that's just have the Michael Cera from Arrested Development with his head hanging down, walking from one side of the screen to the other in shame. Because that's what I feel right now.
It's okay. It's like our thing, mine and Nerdporeal's thing. I don't know when it became a thing.
Just saying, if I'm ever on again, just have that on standby, because
not knowing that Dane, means you're never going to be on again. So you need to catch up.
He's not a member of the Nerdporeal Continuum.
Wait.
He's missing out on a good.
He's not tuned into the hive mind. He's not tuned into the hive mind, so he doesn't know what's happening. So, sorry, I'm interrupting. More signals.
Yeah, more signals right here. Input latency. Welcome.
I swear, if you ever show your face out there,
I won't.
Ever.
I won't.
Ever.
I won't. I promise you.
Oh.
Yeah, that one gets me every time. And I think Ruben Christopher Haynes, another sponsor. Thank you. Welcome. We got this beautiful one right here. Smack.
James Woods. I know that one.
Yep. And we got Zombie Main. Zombie Main's a sponsor. He gets my favorite one right here. All right, there you go.
Nice.
So yeah, Nathan, don't worry. Do what you gotta do. We love you, man. Take care of what you gotta do. So, yeah, everybody, welcome to once again, welcome to the Nerdporeal Continuum. Can't wait. You guys are gonna see some great stuff. Things are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen that are gonna improve your life drastically. I don't know what they are yet, but it will. Trust me.
I'm sure it's already improved. Just like
just ask Steve and Pips. They know better. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm permanently. I have that thing on. Resub every month because I don't want to lose this glow that I have. This
glow. There you go.
I feel like feel like I'm pulsing with Stormlight. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Vote for
wrong
Pedro.
series.
All your dreams will come true.
It's absolutely. See, Dane gets it.
Just like the Laverne and Shirley theme. All your dreams come true. Bum 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 bum. Okay, I'm not gonna go that far, but
Please
yeah.
don't. I'm good.
Hey, it's a great song, dude.
It might be not coming out of your mouth.
All right, we got Dead Murderal fucking nailed to a wall.
Yeah.
And now what?
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah. What can kill a Murderal? Like what can nail? What can kill a Murderal like that? I guess we'll have to find out.
Fane.
No way. I don't believe that.
Are you?
What?
Are you?
Fane.
He's not spoiling shit, man.
There's no way he's gonna do
what
that.
What about that fucking dagger, man?
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah.
It's not spoiler. You read this chapter. It gets revealed later.
I'm being facetious right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm
not drunk enough to catch up on that.
All right, well, you know what? Neither am I, and I'm going to do something about that right now. So some more drink right here.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Chapter 11. We've got like 10 more of these to go through.
Yeah.
So glimmers of the pattern.
When you don't play the screen proper, that's what happens. So, but yeah, I mean, let's just jump to Pan Fane since we're on Pan Fane. Let's talk Pan Fane. So, I believe now, if I remember correctly, this is at a totally different village, right? This is what's going on with Pan Fane. The chapter, the latter half of this chapter, or portion of this chapter, I believe Pan Fane's in a different village. And he's kind of recalling what happened in the previous village with the Murderal.
But Brian, you're skipping over a great scene.
What?
It's the first half, but it's basically like, I know you guys know this, but it's where Rand has got like the camp for the night, and he's told like he has to go see the other like package for him at the pack horse, and he brings the Lewis Theron Telamon banner out, and his buddies Matt and Rand see him with the dragon banner, and that is where Matt and Rand finally clue in that holy shit.
Sorry, he tells them about what happened with him, and so they know now about.
But what's great about it too is what we've established about Perrin's character. Perrin is the one that reasons out, "Hey Rand, can you channel?"
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So Perrin's the thinker. Matt is the rash one, and a bit of an asshole here. But Perrin, he's quiet. He's the strong, silent type. He's reasoning out from like what's going on, and he's like, "Why do they want you to be a false dragon? Holy shit! Can you channel?" And in Perrin's mind, he's already making those connections. Like, is that why you've been acting like such a fucking asshat?
Yeah.
So
what did you feel
I
about
only
the way
mention
Rand
it because
acting?
it's great characterization. That's all I have to say about this whole section. That's what I thought.
What did you feel about the way Rand and Matt and Perrin act throughout this like whole first part of the book? Because I've heard other people react saying that like, oh, this teen angst shit, like it's so terrible, and like really hating on it. And to be honest, like there's an aspect of that where you're like, ugh, like really, like just be mature, right? But then you kind of remember, they are young, they are kind of young kids, right? You know, they're only 19 or 20. But the other thing though is that like I think there's actually less of it than some people complain about. But anyway, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, I'll be honest. When I was reading this, it made me think of. It just made me remind me of Harry Potter. Like, remember, like in every Harry Potter book, there's always a point where they don't get along, where Harry and Ron don't get along, and stuff. So it actually kind of harkened back to that a little bit. But that's just because of my limit. It's just because I mean, it just made me think of that. Doesn't mean it's any way similar. Like they had legitimate reasons to be angry with Rand. Rand was a dick. What can I say? Rand was trying to protect them from the truth or something, which is, I mean, as much as it's just something friends don't do. So as much as they had a good reason to be angry with him, and Rand was trying to make it right. But the thing is, it's not always easy to make things right, and it's easily relatable. And so I had no issue. With this.
But
I'm glad he got around to tell them. I mean, it's part of, you know, do you trust your friends enough to tell them certain things? You know, that's kind of what tests the bonds. You know,
but this is what's so great about the story is it wasn't Rand protecting them from the truth. It was more Rand protecting them from himself.
That too. You're right.
And that's what's so fucked up. And like, we could delve into Robert Jordan and the series being his catharsis for serving tours in Vietnam or whatnot. But there's an element of that in Rand, right? Feeling that you are a danger to yourself and to your friends. And what would you do? And what would you have to suffer through to try and, honestly, he's trying to drive his friends away at this point. He's trying to be a dick. He's trying to basically sever the bonds that are ultimately so important for himself.
Yeah.
Like it's a devil's bargain. It's a terrible situation to be put in.
Yeah.
And I think it really comes together quite well. And honestly, there's some great humor in here too, right? Where Matt, God love him, like Matt is the opposite of Perrin. Perrin is the quiet, silent, reasoning, thinking type, stoic and whatnot. He understands. Matt is the jump to conclusions kind of guy and says, you know, what he believes, but it can be very emotionally hurting. But he's basically saying, I'm going to sleep as far away as I can from you as possible. Because I heard from a merchant's guard one time, you know, someone who could channel, didn't mean anything by it, but he flattened his whole village. And the best part about this, and it's still something I remember from my first read, is Perrin basically saying, oh, if that's the case, why don't you sleep cheek and jowl with them? I love that. It just basically, this is getting, you know, world-shaking incidents, or you just find out the most horrible thing you can about friends, and it gets reduced to that wonderful banter that's only really between three friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's great about the series.
And they're curious. I mean, the thing is, they're very curious why he stayed with them. And what really, I think kind of helped bury the hatchet was he's like, I'm here to help Matt. I want Matt to live. I mean, I'm want to make sure this goes down, that we get the dagger, that he can be, you know, that he can be healed properly with the dagger. And he wanted to do his part for his friend.
So
that meant something to me, hearing that.
Brian, I thought Matt was healed in Tar Valon in season 1.
Oh, no. No.
And now you know why we fucking hated that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's just gonna be a line of dialogue. They're gonna say he's not fully healed, but it doesn't even matter because he's dark, Matt, and he has the I don't know. He's gonna steal the dagger back from Padden Fane, and he's gonna go. I don't know, jumping into the ways, and he's gonna.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I wanted to indulge this part because I thought it was great characterization for our top three, our Randet and Perrin, which we're never going to get in the show regardless. But the second half of this chapter, Brian, you're right. It's diving into Padden Fane, which I think is worthwhile to look into. So getting back to that, what are your thoughts on this fuckwit?
He is it was interesting, like him recalling so you like once again you said they were going south, then they were going north, then they were going south again, then they were going north again, then they were going south again. So apparently, and I'm curious how this was done because I don't think it was quite described, but we learned that the Murdral, the Fade, and Padden Fane were wrestling for control of this group, this party. You had Trollocs, you had Dark Friends. It was wrestling for control. I don't know how they did that. Was it a battle of wits? Were they arm wrestling? What were they doing? Were they fighting
they just had a staring contest. That's all. Fade won.
We have no eyes, Lieutenant.
So wait, so where are we? So I how much of the meat and potatoes have I missed? We got to get to the portal stone, right? Like
that's coming up. We're not even at chapter 12 yet, there, Steve. Man. I know we've taken an hour and 20 minutes, but we've gone 2.5 chapters.
Because I remember because I'm interested because I remember the moment he got into the portal stones, he's like, I have a theory about who this chick is. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to hear it. I'm ready to hear what that. You guys are slow as fuck, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm muting.
Yeah, we're. I want to answer. I want to answer your question. And
with another question,
Dane can tell me that I'm wrong. So it's never actually explained explicitly. My interpretation is that the Murdral, like the Trollocs and like people, are actually affected by the influence of Shatterlogoth, the dagger. So basically, the Murdral, it starts the day out, and it's the Dark One, it's doing its thing, and by the end of the day, Padden Fane has essentially asserted his influence and control. And he gets tired. He gets tired of the back and forth with the Murdral, his influence, the Dark One's kind of influence on Padden Fane, and that warring with Padden Fane's influence on the Murdral. He gets over it and decides, I'm off in you. So it's the warring influence between the two.
I mean, I've always taken it that just they're more afraid of him than what's in front of them.
What Pips is talking about is it's the time of day thing, and the other element involved there is we have to remember Padden Fane is two identities in one body at this point. He hasn't synthesized into what he's going to become. He's the Dark Friend side, but he's also Mordeth at this point. So there's an element of him like an internal struggle causing strength and weakness and whatnot. So that plays out in a beautiful way across at least the Robert Jordan books. But I think we can move on from this. It's interesting in that, it was all plotted out, right? The Trollocs should go north. They go south. They're disjointed. They go one way, then the other. Turns out to be part of this whole struggle. So
yeah, it got pretty grimdark here. Like they're murdering the people. They're murdering children, women, men, women, children.
At least it's not gratuitous, but
it wasn't too gratuitous, but it just I almost felt like I was reading a Song of Ice and Fire, and we find out that Fane, once again Fane killed the Murdral, and it's just like holy shit. And then I think the big thing that we learn, and this is something I'm curious. and I guess this is what maybe this. So the thing that happens with Rand and something, I'm curious. Like he says, there are points where the boy vanishes from his senses.
Yeah.
That I was like, I was thinking, I was like,
in honest,
there's
Brian,
two
I think this is again. I think it's a little bit later. So I think we have to get to the Egwene chapter because he vanishes. I think it's after the portal stone scene, which is in chapter 13.
There's two methods, and one of them was happening as early as the end of Eye of the World, but you hear about it in the start of the Great Hunt.
Yeah. Oh, when he joins the battle.
So Padden Fane talks about how he would disappear for a time in Faldara, right? He mentions that in his POV about how Rand would disappear and reappear. He's doing his trick again, but I'll find him is kind of a paraphrasing of, he'll come back, I'll find him is kind of a paraphrasing of his thoughts. And so that gives an indication of one of the ways that Rand is able to sort of disappear from Padden Fane's senses. And then the other one is, the portal stones, right?
Yeah. I'm really curious.
Dane, you're acting like you're not getting what I'm saying.
I'm trying to find out. I thought that the reference to Rand vanishing from his senses came a little bit later.
So I don't know if it was in this chapter or not. I know that it's in the section that he's read. So.
Yeah, it's definitely in this chapter. It's in this section. And and then of course we get to the great, finale. We'll dance on Toman Head, and I'll be free of you, Althor. Something like that. So, but yeah,
my wife actually picked this up. She actually picked up this one the first time reading this part of the Great Hunt. One of the two methods that Rand uses to disappear from his senses. She was like, "That's what's happening." So I'm curious. Do you have what are your theories on how Rand is doing it?
I'm not even sure what you're referring to. Maybe I'm just it's been a while since I read The Great Hunt.
It's not super important. I can just spell it out. It's not a big mystery. It's just one of those things that like you kind of pick up on it. So when Rand is in the void, Padden Fane loses the ability to sense him.
I thought that.
And then
it's okay. So I was there with you.
Yeah. So the time that it's happening when he's in Faldara is when he's training with the sword with Lan and stuff like that. Is when Padden Fane loses the sense of him because he's cutting so much of himself off that he's no longer himself that Padden Fane is attuned to, and then obviously going into the portal stones or that sort of thing. But
also whenever he seeks the void, basically whenever he seeks the flame, or now in this case the light, the warm and nauseous light. Okay, all right, okay, all right.
There's a reason.
Well, the void, and
we'll get to it
though. But
so Brian, as I said in my intro, how like you can keep on reading and rereading the series and keep finding new things. This is the first time I'm hearing this theory, and it makes sense to me.
Oh, I thought it was obvious. Sorry, like that's why
there's
much.
And
I'm not saying that like being a.
Steve's just pulling out and slapping you in the face.
No, stop it. No, because I was right where you were, Dane. Because like Pips was making it sound like it's like he does it two ways. It's like okay, I don't want to sound like an idiot, but like I thought that just happened whenever he went into the void, and it's like. I thought that was just common knowledge. So sorry.
No, it's not common knowledge or whatnot. But I was like, was there something happening to Fane, or was it something happening to Rand? And I was debating that. But it's one of those things it's really only mentioned in like a handful of lines here early on, and it's really not addressed again afterwards because you don't get a whole lot of Padden Fane POVs. So it's one of those mysteries that's like, all right, I'm not dying to find out what this means. And then like, all right, you'll live if you never solve it. But it's just one of those things that's like, what's great about the series is you can read and reread this thing forever, and you can keep finding great things hidden inside it. So, and
it doesn't
also
help when I'm being a little cagey because I don't necessarily want to say things if he hasn't figured it out yet, you know?
No, but it's also why people who are fans of the series sought a community in order to bounce ideas off each other.
Well, yeah, that's all what talking about theories and speculation about stuff like that, that's what it's all about, right? So
yeah, and if we're
that's why I want to hear what he thinks about Celine. People.
Oh wait, that's coming up. Right now, all I want to say is if we want to debate the mechanics of if Rand's in the void and all of a sudden Patton Fane can't sense him, what does that mean about Patton Fane's senses? And follow someone who gave it to him and go discuss the mechanics of that shit. But all right, we should get a German Shepherd before we do that, right?
Yeah, so I'm barely remembering chapter 12 or I know this is an Egwene chapter, and
that's your answer right there. So should we skip it?
Egwene?
Yeah, I actually, I don't mind Egwene as a point of view character. I don't know why I don't dislike her. I don't dislike her.
Look, how do I put this?
Yes. All right.
Look. I know. There's a lot of intense hatred for Egwene. I don't mind it so much for most. Well, 50-50. 50-50.
She's a good character.
In either world, she's
actually a great character.
There's none of it in this chapter, though. This is a good mechanics building chapter. The only thing I'd say for Brian is be wary of the Saidar mechanics are purposefully the opposite of the Saidin mechanics.
Okay.
In certain ways.
I thought we had talked about that already once, but maybe not. I mean, it's a good point, though, Dane. So
yeah, there's similarities, but they're opposites.
I guess I get Rand hasn't been channeling enough yet to sort of make the comparison yet. I think maybe.
Well,
I think he'll probably catch on, but
let's distill it down to this point. There, Brian, is Rand when he wants to enter the void. What does he do?
Has a dance party.
No.
To enter the void, he envisions a flame.
And what does he do?
He puts all of his troubles, all of his thoughts into that flame.
All right, he's active, right? He's pumping the shit, everything around him. He's basically putting that into that flame and he's burning it off.
Yeah.
All right, what is Egwene doing when she wants to enter or get ready to embrace Saidar? What is her novice exercise here?
She has to envision, I believe, Varen comes into the tent, and she has to envision a blooming flower, I believe.
Where's the flame in this?
There is none.
Where's the light? Where's the energy? It's external. She is the bulb. She embraces. She sits back. She surrenders. So that... All I'm saying here, there's a beautiful metaphor that Robert Jordan puts into the mechanics of his magic system, and you'll get a deeper appreciation for it as you read through it more and more and more. But I always thought it was so great. It's like they're opposite, but they're very similar. Right? Rand has to feed a fire. Egwene has to embrace a fire.
You're gonna find out real quick when more channeling starts happens that Saidin and Saidar are very much opposites that sort of work together, and how opposite they really are.
They complement.
Complement, but their mechanics are much different. Sorry, go ahead, Pip. Sorry.
It's almost like if you just picture the ancient symbol of the Aes Sedai.
Yeah. Well, and look, I get what Dane's getting at. It's actually quite important because it's the reason that an Aes Sedai woman cannot teach a male, because it's the mechanics of channeling as a male compared to the mechanics of channeling as a female are completely different.
I thought you couldn't teach them just because they're going to go mad.
I mean, since all the song growl are cross gender too, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. So
it's like a fish teaching a bird to fly, or a bird teaching a fish to swim. And then Varen's like,
fish
Brian,
fish can't touch the moon.
That sounded like a
Page
bigoted
232.
statement.
We'll get to fishing and moons. For fuck's sake, it's in
Read
this
the
section.
super chat. Read it.
Oh god damn it!
Daniel super
for
chat.
$2.
There you go.
Think of Egwene point of view as a villain chapter.
I don't know about this
Chapter?
one. I mean, come
I don't
on.
know. This one I didn't see anything villainous about this, but hey.
Yeah.
There's so much of
I know there's gonna be
hate.
more. I know there's gonna be more
Right.
Egwene chapters, so yeah.
Chapter
Elaine's a
13
bitch.
of this 7-hour stream.
This is not, no, we got like I'm capping this off in 55 minutes. So yeah, let's get going
Oh
on
fuck,
this.
we
So,
gotta power through.
yeah, so Egwene is they're on their way to this town, this boat. They're on their way to this boat. The thing that's interesting is Moraine vanishes. They're wondering where's Moraine, and Moraine is just gone. Her and Lan are gone. We don't know where they went, and to now I still don't know where they went. So next chapter I read, well, I'll learn about that. So yeah,
They were in a hot tub. Oh, sorry.
Steve, we're on a timeline here.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I'm the one trying to get to Celine. You guys are slowing me down.
Other
Like,
thing
I mean, come on.
bring up.
You're like, I'm the one talking about Land's ass. I mean, Celine.
All right. The only
Nipples
other
and
thing I
shit,
thought
I
was
mean, come on.
interesting that we learned about Egwene is that she sees Balsamon. She starts dreaming, and she wants to talk to somebody about it because she's like, oh my gosh, Rand's in danger. I'm seeing this guy with flaming eyes and everything, and a mask, obviously Balsamon. So we're just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh my gosh, where is this going? And she tells Anaya the Aes Sedai, the blue Aes Sedai, I believe, and she's like, oh, you're just,
she's
you know,
blue. Yeah,
you're just,
might
you
be-
know, you're just, you know, you
Maybe
maybe
might
you're
be a dreamer.
you know. But yeah, that was the only other thing I really got out of this. That and Varen teaching them a few things and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, so that's pretty much chapter 12. So
Let's do
13.
chapter 13 in 5 minutes.
Yeah, 13. We find out that they wake up. They wake up and they're in an alternate universe. They
You
slept.
don't know
they
that
slept
right
in-
off the bat. Come on.
they slept
Not
next
off the
to a-
bat. He knows it now.
slept next to a
He's a
stone. Him, Rand Loyal, and Huron sleep next to a stone. They wake up. They're in an alternate. They're in an alternate universe.
Wait,
In this universe where like the ground is made of granite, the sky is pale, the sun is pale, everything here is dead. Almost everything is dead. So we're seeing a what if the Dark One wins. That's what I basically see in this world. What if the Dark One wins?
Don't worry about it. All the Dark One needs is to win in one world, and he wins in all. But all that's needed is for the light to triumph in one world, and the light will triumph in all.
And I like how they try to explain like there's probably millions and billions of alternate universes.
Welcome to quantum mechanics.
Yeah, I think it's more losing than lost, but I mean it's a big world.
Yeah,
right?
because I actually disagree that the Dark One has won, but we don't need.
Well,
to
the
go,
Dark
we don't
One
need to
can't
go. This
win
is-
because of what Dane just said. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, just even in this world. Just
Yeah.
even in
No,
this world, the Dark One hasn't won in this world.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Oh wait, well he's not there yet, so I'll shut
Oh
up.
no, shit! It wouldn't matter for him, but I think I
I'm
was
with you,
dropping
Pips.
hints. I was dropping hints to Nerdporeal. Like when you're reading through these chapters, think about Robert Jordan as a physics major or whatnot about quantum mechanics. All it really takes for the light to triumph is to them to be successful in one world. And I think by the end of this, you find out what the big difference between this mirror world and the Randland world, right? Based on that monument of Arthur Hawkwing losing this battle and what would
One of the
happen.
differences, yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, all right, this is a fading world. This is a non-important world. This isn't a real thing. It's basically, it's a memory of a memory and it's dissipating. And why is it? It's because this is not going to guide the real challenge or the real combat, the real fight, which always comes down to if the light can succeed in one, it succeeds in all.
My question is why is Celine living in such a shitty world? Oh, sorry.
We haven't met her yet, and besides,
I'm going to keep saying her name until we start talking about
Kyrian. She's from Kyrian, and she's a noble lady. Damn it!
Why is she living in weird Portal Stone world? What is with this?
She went to
Celine
sleep
person?
outside like good noble ladies do. She didn't know what she was lying beside.
So I'm curious. Like, I mean, like, is it because now the question is they sleep by the stone? Like, did Rand actually do this? Like, did Rand actually subconsciously, when he was sleeping, channel and activated
debated
the
mystery?
stone?
But we should get to chapter 14 before you
Is
run out
it
of our
really a
5 minutes.
debated mystery?
It's not a debated mystery. It's clear.
It's painfully obvious when you know, but yeah.
Egwene lets the cat out of the bag. She lets the cat right out of the bag.
Yeah, except that she's a untrustful narrator because she's a tyrannical cunt.
Not yet, right, Pips?
No, she's always been a tyrannical cunt. Sorry,
what,
are
Elaine?
we on chapter 14?
We're talking about Elaine now?
No, Elaine's a saint. We're talking about
Elaine is hardly a saint, but okay, sorry, we're not going there. I got to get my brother in on that one. My brother has feelings about Elaine. Sorry. Sorry, we're getting way too ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. What's going on? Are we on chapter 14 yet? Or are we still debating the merits of yet?
Well,
we have
what did they accomplish in this chapter? Well, I think they talk about the world. Loyal says a few things, and Huron sniffs, smells the bad guys, and they're like, okay, we're going to set off and we're going to look for these bad guys, and that's basically
5 minutes done. Boom. All right, we're on chapter 14.
Is it this chapter or the next that Loyal tree sings?
There's no loyal in chapter 14 because it's called Wolf Brother, and it's all about Ingtar's party.
I was talking about the previous chapter before you just completely punted along.
Yeah, get with the program, Pips. What was your question?
What was the tree singing in 13, or is it I guess 15?
15.
All right.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we didn't skip past that because I think that's important. But anyway, keep going.
All right.
Wolf, whatever. Wolf tree.
All right. So, yeah, Wolf Brothers. So we get parents. So we're wondering what happened with Ingtar and everybody. And they're like, wait, they're like, where the fuck did they? They're like, where the fuck did they go? They're gone. They can't just leave. Like they had people, they had people on hand, keeping watch and everything. They're like, what the hell? And it's just they're Matt fucking thinks they ran away. Dick.
But there's no tracks, right?
No.
Matt is a dick, but yeah, no tracks. No evidence
and freaking Uno is just like, so he's like I think Uno's like the best tracker there. He's like, I can't even fucking find anything. I can't find any hint that they've left.
And Uno knew Huron's tell.
His what?
Sorry.
No.
I'm making it.
No.
We already made that joke. Keep moving. You wanted to move on.
I'm sorry. I'm making it again. Let's go.
No.
But
I'm trying to remember what exactly. So they kind of reintroduced Perrin here, and we
Matt, basically, isn't this where?
I mean, ultimately, what happens is Perrin can smell, like he's recalling Elias, and
he can't smell. He's using the wolves.
He's talking to them wolves.
And what's great, Wolfie boys, what's great about this whole this whole chapter, Brian, is the wolves have given Perrin a name.
Gaylord.
No, that's
sorry. Wait,
that's show Perrin.
That's the show. That's the show Perrin.
I'm getting confused.
That's show Perrin, and if it wasn't Gaylord, it would have been open mouth.
Oh my god,
butt cheeks. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I forgot what they called him. I forgot
Young Bull.
Young Bull.
Young motherfucking Bull.
Young Bull.
Yes. Oh, because he freaking charges in and chops White Cloak's faces off.
And his steel axe is like the horn of a bull.
Horn of the bull, yeah. The spike on his axe is like a bullhorn.
It,
fuck
sorry.
with the bull, you get the horns.
The only reason I'm fixating on this, Brian, this is it's a plot point. So this, at least as far as like, he is called Young Bull by the wolves from now till eternity. So this is semi-important. Like, this is a growth moment for Perrin. But it's also like the first time in a long time since like he was with Elias that he decided to commune with wolves. And is basically using them like, we're tracking Dark Friends, we're tracking Trollocs, we're trying to find them, we need them. And what's great about it is you get more wolf world building, right? The twisted ones, we want to get at them. We're with you, we'll tell you. And basically all you have to do is, if you're mentally connected with wolves, is say, yeah, I want to fight some fucking Trollocs. And all of a sudden you get like 2,000 of these fucking wolves on your side. It's great.
Now, aren't they hungry? Like, they want to like kill Patton Fane too because of what he's exerting, his influence that he's exerting, or something? Or I forget if they're cautious.
I don't know if they're specific. I don't know if they're specific about Patton Fane.
They just don't like anything. I don't know. I would assume. I mean, anything bad they don't like.
Trollocs, they'd get nuts about, and it's established later, like a fade, like a whole pack of wolves.
Yeah, they'll lose like 12 wolves to kill one fade, man. Fades they hate, big time.
Oh, it's fucking cool. Oh. But I don't want to wreck stuff for like the early part of the next book, because that's when the wolves and their psyche, their psychology really come into their own.
Oh,
but
okay.
Dig it. Right.
It's
like Perrin is a wolf brother. He's not a sniffer. They basically say in this chapter, all right, well, we don't know what the fuck you are, but be a sniffer.
Speaking of sniffers, it's funny that we find out that the party's being followed by Varen, and Varen just appears out of the blue. And she's like, and the thing was that we learned in chapter 9, I believe, when they're setting out, is that the Aes Sedai don't know about the sniffers. We keep that secret from them. And Varen's like, yeah, we did. Yeah, we knew. We knew all along. Ha! Ha 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 ha. So, yeah, so I thought that was funny. I like how Ingtar's like, oh fuck, seriously?
All right,
yeah, can't hide much from them, I guess.
I love how Varen shows up out of nowhere, but
yeah,
Moraine we'll get to that. So we'll get that about. We'll get to that about 13 books.
Wait. No, we won't.
13 books.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, so so Moraine joins Varen joins them, and they want Rand. They're looking for Rand. They're like, why isn't Rand with you? Oh, we know where he went. So it's crazy. But yeah, that's basically chapter 14, right? Right.
Yes.
Well, let's get back. 15. No, we're going back to chapter 12 really quick.
So Celine, this girl in white.
Very quick.
Sorry.
Very quickly. So Brian, like chapter 12, reading comprehension. It's important, guys. Come on. Moraine isn't on a ship, girl. She's gone. 2 days gone, and the Amerlin is in a taking over it. Anaya grimaced and shook her head, though most of her attention was still focused on the workers. First, Moraine vanishes with Lan, then Leandrin right on Moraine's heels, and then Varen. None of them was so much as a word for anyone. Varen did not even take her warder. Tomas is chewing nails with worry over her. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah,
she's gone.
They're gone. Yeah,
Leandrin's gone. Moraine's gone. Varen's gone. The Amerlin is in the fucking blue about all of this.
Curious what Leandrin's up to, because she's not. She's a
cunt.
She's
all right.
In my opinion, I think.
Chapter 15.
You gotta say it like an Audible. Chapter 15.
Chapter. You know what? I think I need to buy all these freaking audiobooks before the only thing that becomes available is something narrated by fucking Rosamund Pike, which would basically cause me to
all the old
kill.
ones.
Are they? Can you even get Eye of the World not by her Rosamund Pike?
Yeah,
you still can.
I own all 6 books, audiobooks by Michael Kramer.
That's the way to do it.
Well,
all right.
I listen to my friends. What can I say? So. All right, so chapter 15. So they're on they're riding. We get to better look at the world. Trying to remember what else happens.
Oh, there's a lot. So this is where Rand basically becomes Lord, right? To Huron, at least, right? Because
I thought he was Lord the moment he met him.
But this is more where, like, because Rand is separated, right? It's basically Rand, Loyal, and Huron. All of a sudden, he's kind of thrust into that leadership role.
Yeah,
Huron is the guy who's basically, all right, I'm not in charge. Who's in charge? You're in charge. All right, I'm going to follow you and whatever you say. And I don't know. Within the context of the wider series, I always thought this was a great fucking moment, a great fucking part, because this is where Rand, who's obviously not as old, less experienced, if you're going to put it down, like, would you try and take charge in this situation, or would you trust Huron to kind of lead you out of this new area? I always liked it for that reason, right? And maybe that's because you're a young guy
I like his inner monologue where he has to really he keeps saying, please don't call me a lord, but then it gets to a point where they're in this world. There's possibly no chance that there's a possibility they might never return. And Huron says, I have a family, I have people that care about me. I don't want to think about the fact that they may never, see me again. Something Mike Ehrmantraut would pull, make people disappear. But
the significance there is it's the first time that Rand accepts the weight of responsibility and duty. So now he appreciates that he has a duty to Huron, and you see him actually kind of taking that on. And so this is sometimes referred to as Rand's first command. It's a pivotal moment in his character, though, I think, where he sort of realizes that he can't be the angsty, like, oh, I'm not a lord, I'm just going to go out on my own and leave the world behind. All of a sudden, he can't do that because Huron is looking to him for leadership, and he realizes, I got us into this situation, so I'm going to have to act the Shinaran lord that you expect me to be, because that's the obligation that I have to you. And that becomes a real important part of his character.
Okay, well, I noticed that too, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Him just taking responsibility, and what he stopped himself from saying, like you said, he stopped himself from saying, I'm not a lord, and he obliged Huron and everything. And then we get to we see that this world is all full of burnt trees. And
hold on though, but I think it. I don't know if you guys said it because I had to step away, but that's also Moraine's plan. So you got to give her, sort of check one off for Moraine there, because Moraine sort of put him in that position, making him second and all that shit. So
second, and he's wearing that Shinaran, that red outfit and everything, like a lord.
Yeah, I mean, Moraine couldn't have maneuvered him into the portal stone, but I think
I'm talking.
right.
I'm talking about just sort of. No. I'm not talking about the portal stone part, but just everything up to that. Sort of, the fancy lording cloaks and making him second. And
yep, I'm agreeing with you.
Obviously,
I'm agreeing with you that she's pulling one over on him. She is the Aes Sedai that the world thinks Aes Sedai are. She's got plans within plans within plans.
Just a little girl.
And Rand
she's the only fucking one
like,
too. Right?
All right.
Which makes it weird because she's like the only Aes Sedai I respect in the books, but I have no respect for her in the show at all. It's crazy.
All right, guys. At this point, because we're
Celine is here, right?
Because we're on chapter 15, I got a reading
Grown.
comprehension.
Oh my
No, it's before that. I got a reading comprehension question for Brian. All right. So,
Gaylord.
not necessarily.
Sorry.
It's not really that. Let's appreciate that Balsamon is the father of lies, and I'm glad we got Nathan back for here.
I thought you were going to say the father of something else.
We at the prologue yet, or the epilogue yet?
No,
we're talking about Celine.
We're
talking about Celine
chapter
right now.
15, so we're in like
that
3 out of 10.
We're kind of halfway.
Not even.
Somehow we've gone back.
In the Portal Stones.
They just got back from them.
No, they're in the we're in the world. We're in the alternate Randland.
Okay, gotcha. The
Not
Grolm and all that.
And the antimatter Randland is what I want to call it.
Antimatter Randland.
Do I, Lewis Theron? You know what you are, who you are. I've told you, and I've told those women of Tarvalon. They think themselves safe in their White Tower, but my followers number even some of their own. The Aes Sedai called Moraine told you who you are. Did she not? Did she lie? Is she one of mine? Is the White Tower, the White Tower means to use you like a hound on a leash. Do I lie? Do I lie when I say you seek the Horn of Valir?
What are you talking about?
This is what Balsamon tells Rand in his dream.
So was this a dream? I wasn't sure. I honestly wasn't sure if this was a dream.
Yeah, it's in the dream world. Balsamon is back. But here's the thing. Balsamon is a fucking liar. You can't trust the thing he says. But what is he saying? Is he lying, or is he, as the old adage goes, the truth told with ill intent beats all the lies you can invent? And who knew? Who knew that the Aes Sedai in that room, which included Moraine, Swan, and Varen, told Rand that he was the Dragon Reborn? So how would Balsamon know to say this?
I don't know.
Because he's Balsamon. Come on.
All I'm saying here is pay close attention to the story. Pay close attention to who knows what at what point in time. This is what's so beautiful about the story, because it'll pay off.
Big time.
I think that to be fair, I think that's something that it'll be like a dawning on when it happens, but it's appreciated more on a second read as you're going along with events.
This is my earlier point to Brian, is like the second read, the third read, the fourth read, you keep on picking up on things.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick up on this particular instance until I joined the White Cloak subreddit, and someone pointed it out.
Yeah. It's like when you're reading the Eye of the World the first time you get to a Perrin perspective chapter, within the first maybe 2 paragraphs, you have a reveal that there's something going on with him and wolves, and it's amazing to sit there and be like, wait a minute, that's in 2 paragraphs, and Robert Jordan's going, Easter egg. He's fucking awesome.
Honestly, when I was reading this, I wasn't sure if that was the Balsamon or if that was a alternate Balsamon, because once again, the Star Trek fandom made me think of this was like an alternate universe, the alternate world where there's alternate Forsaken, there's alternate Dark One, and everything. I was wondering if this was an alternate Balsamon.
No.
So apparently not. They're kind of.
It's the man.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
But the great thing about having a villain that you can't trust, that you call the father of lies, is precisely because whatever they say is suspect. And going back,
the father of lies? Is he truly the father
Dark
of
One's the
lies?
father of lies. He's the betrayer of hope.
Wait.
Come on, Dane. Let's get it straight, bro.
I was gonna say only in the show does Balsamon mean father of
Balsamon
lies.
is not the father of lies.
Wait. Fuck you two. You guys are like giving me cross eyes for giving spoilers, and you guys are doing that one.
No, I'm just saying that the show calls Balsamon father of lies, whereas the book says Balsamon equals heart of dark.
The only I get what Dane's saying is it hasn't been revealed that Balsamon isn't the Dark One. I get it, but I think he knows. Look at his face. He knows. Stop it. See, come on.
I was just saying that Balsamon
Nothing's figured out. We don't gotta
heart
dance
of the dark.
around. Okay, so let's talk about the Celine chick.
No, Steve's like, I'm just gonna throw a friggin' flashbang in the room.
Yeah, I know who Balsamon is. That was spoiled. So
yeah,
I'm curious.
I guess we've talked more off about this than you guys. So I know he knows. So it's like it's not a big deal, that part, anyways. But I get what you're doing.
What about the people who are reading the book along with Brian in the chat, though?
They should know better.
Think of the people. Think of the people.
What people?
There was no spoiler warning on this show.
I've been thinking of Celine for about an hour.
No, Celine's,
yeah, we can
Celine's
tell.
a lot to think about.
Let's see those hands. Let's see those hands.
I can't wait for body positivity Celine in the show.
Oh yeah, right.
What?
It's gonna be Lizzo.
Oh no.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that was true, though.
Steve's gonna need a huge keyboard for that.
Oh my god,
that was a legitimate.
It's over.
So the other
legitimate Twitter fan cast.
So the other fun thing that we learned from his experience is that he gets this. I forget if it's his right hand or it's his left hand that he gets the heron mark on. I think I don't know if it's on the back of his hand or the palm of his hand. Palm. Okay.
Yep. Twice.
And yeah, so it's like a brand. It's like it got branded onto him and everything. So like he wakes up and it's still there. It's like holy shit. So yeah.
He's gonna feel like a whole new person when he's by himself.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so yeah,
sandpaper hand job.
They fight. I don't think that I think they come across Arthur Hawkwing's spire or something in this chapter, a column of sorts.
Yep. I think that's the next chapter.
No, it's chapter 16.
Yeah, it's what we.
Yeah, we've
next chapter. So we're on that, but yeah, the heron branding is the end of the 15th chapter. 16 is kind of them through the mirror world.
Yeah, and this is where they're kind of discussing, and this is kind of where I got, the whole, what if the Dark One wins and everybody they kill, the Trollocs kill everybody, but then because they only live to kill, they end up killing each other. So that's why the world is, devoid of life for the most part. The trees are all burnt, the ground is granite, and everything is in ruins. The world is the sun, the sky is pale.
Critically, in this chapter 16, Steve, who do we meet? Who's fleeing from Kralm and wearing a nice white linen shirt or dress?
Varen, right?
Sheer
Fuck
white
off.
dress.
Lizzo, it's Lizzo. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Garrett fucking teed. She will be fucking Lizzo.
Oh my god! If it's any, dude, I can't. I can't. Don't start with that shit,
dude. Don't start with me, dude.
Oh my god.
If they fucking cast,
dude, it needs to be the hottest chick on the planet, and if it's not, then they've fucked it up. That's all there is to it. So
who? Okay, wait. Let's just stop here. It should be the hottest chick on the planet. like quarantine Brian for a little bit here. But if you were Ragnar and his team of fucking miscreants, who would you cast to play Celine?
Stacey Abrams.
Are we talking about if we were actually the dumb?
Fuck you, Nathan.
What did he say? I didn't hear what he said.
Stacey Abrams.
She
like
can't.
that or Michelle Obama.
Earth in the 32nd century on Star Trek, the 34th century in Star Trek Discovery. Sorry, that's not going to happen.
If it was Michelle Obama, that would fulfill the trans obligation, right?
Madonna.
The views of the individual do not necessarily regard the views of the panel or the chat.
Oh my goodness. Goodness.
Yeah, once they hear a politician, I have to say that.
So who would Ragnar cast as that?
Lizzo is absolutely Lizzo. If you're talking about the name, like they're gonna pick,
man.
Like, it's bottom. I think I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about
He would pull something like an Elliot Page type of thing going on.
Yeah,
for this bullshit.
Fuck.
I mean,
so I got a question. Are the
Grom be a dude or something?
So do you think
it'll be
Zelia,
Sam.
gender 1, gender 2, who we all think is going to play Galad in the next?
I don't even want to think about that either.
You think it could be? Not.
That's not. He
could
hasn't
it
even
be
met Galad
Celine?
yet, has he? Barely.
So I got a question. Are the only creatures on this world Grom? Are they like the only creatures left on this world?
Maybe.
Read and find out.
Sure. Not important.
No, you're not going to read and find out because they're going to leave and it'll never
On which
come up
world?
again. On this alternate world.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What chapter have you got to?
Who knows?
We're on chapter 17.
So how?
Right, no, I mean how far?
What the fuck is that, Pips? Get that. Burn that with fire. What? I'm not. Don't put that up. Don't put it up. I'm putting it down. If you put it up,
put it up.
You
put
give
it
me
up.
the power. I'm not.
Do it.
I will remove it immediately.
Do it.
I will remove
Put
it
it up.
immediately. I will remove it
Put it
immediately. Don't hit it.
The fuck is this? I'm
Put it up.
only on this.
Put it up.
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down.
Wait, I only saw it for a
Put
second.
the sword through the head.
Dude,
Wait,
you're my friend. Like,
We're
seriously.
such bigots.
All
What
right.
can I say?
Can you put it up again, please?
No, never again.
I only saw it for
Never
half
again.
a second.
No,
Come
never
on,
again.
do it.
No, never again.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
All I
again.
saw was like the genie from fucking Aladdin.
The only thing that would have made it better is if it was her flute.
I think that might be the picture. I think that's where the picture's from.
Man,
We have
Hey,
fun.
I'm glad I didn't go to
You know
that
what?
band camp.
I did a little bit of internet work there. I put that together for you. I'm glad. Oh no!
Oh, dude. Steve, I thought you were my friend.
Oh.
Now, I don't know about you guys. When I think of the beautiful Celine, this is the first image I think
Jeez. She is really, really, really
man.
an unattractive woman.
of. You know what? Actually, I'm being a dick. This is what I think of when I see rain. This is my no.
Oh God! Oh God!
I think of those things that fly over sports stadiums and film the aerial shots.
All right, we got limited time left. So
Okay, sorry.
Well, Brian, you have your next intro.
I don't think so. Oh my God.
Also, I need to drink
There's
more.
something that could be cut
Why
from
is
there.
it Mags only makes comments to shit all over me? Like I just,
Max
you
was
know,
afraid. She came back.
unless she's pissing all over me, it's fine. It's okay. All right, one more. Real quick.
Cheers, Mags.
All right, moving on.
I was drinking. Steve.
You're
You trying to kill me? I'm gonna choke.
This is something I expect Pips to do, not you.
All right, I'm
Oh,
removing
Celine.
it. I'm taking it down. You can't do that to me anymore.
Oh man. Oh well. Sorry. I almost
Think of the children.
I thought
Think
you were
of
gonna
the
split up,
children.
Pips. I saw it like coming out. You're like, ah.
Then I remembered that it was good whiskey, and I rallied and
Now I have Nerdporeal's screwed because every time now when he picks up the book and reads, and it comes to a Celine part, he's gonna see that picture.
Nope.
No.
Think of how it's on the cover.
Max
think
is
how
coming
she-
out apparently.
No,
Oh wait, she's quoting me. Sorry. Again, I don't know why she's retired except for me. All right, so go ahead, Nerdporeal. Sorry.
Yeah, so apparently there's these three-eyed Grom, and I couldn't help but think of the Simpsons, radioactive fish. When they brought this up, I don't know why, because I can't think of anything else that has three eyes. Total Recall, you have three, the three boob lady, and Simpsons, you have the three-eyed, fish. So, obviously, not the same thing, but still.
Fair.
Jesus.
I tend to think of the Ghostbusters dogs with a center eye.
Oh, okay. Forgot about that.
A lot
Oh, well.
bigger though, right? I mean, they'd be bigger.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I
I
would
thought
say
this
that.
was really cool that Rand is once again, this pays off. It's like how such a good shot he is with the bow and arrow. And I believe that was set up all the way back in Eye of the World in the very beginning. Like he won.
it was set up all the way back in episode 7, I think. I'm sorry.
Bastard.
Seven.
But yeah,
Now I will fucking wait. No way.
He squinted really good. He started when he squinted really hard. He started hitting the middle. I remember that part. Pips, you're right.
Yeah. His inner monologue was Egwene's mole thud.
Yeah, but so there's this
I can
monster
remove it.
attacking. There's this Grom that's attacking a woman. He hears a scream. They go and they
was
engage
that Rand getting
creature.
pegged, or wait, have we moved on from that?
We moved on.
Okay, but he would have screamed, right?
I'm gonna mute Dave for a second here. All right, there we go. Okay, go ahead, Nerdporeal. You're unmuted again.
A woman is screaming, and
That could have been Rand being pegged.
Grom. And the Grom basically uses Rand, and Rand, uses the void, shoots an arrow, and kills it, hits it in the center eye, and it's dead. And the woman is just like, "Hey, you did great. You're awesome," And she had no concern for no concern for anything else around her. I think she's not who she says she is.
Wait,
I don't think Celine is who she's not who she says she is.
Okay, who do you think she is?
But
I need a random
she's so
woman
pretty.
in the middle of nowhere. She acts very high and mighty, she acts very. She's like, "This is your destiny, Rand. You are destined for greatness." I think she's a Forsaken. I think she's Lanfear. I think she's the Lanfear that they talk about.
Wait, no. I was like, where are you getting this from? Like, I think you are in what's that movie, Office Space, and you are totally on the jump to conclusions, Matt.
I want to hear how you make that jump. Let's go. So you suspect that Celine is Lanfear?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I just don't even know why he's suspicious. I mean, like let's just lay it out here. The world's hottest woman ever shows up in a super unlikely situation, needs Rand to save her, and is very interested in him.
Lanfear
That's totally plausible, guys.
Wait. She totally
clearly Lizzo.
That's like a Monday. That's a Monday.
Had a fling going on. So they were fucking, and she sees him as loose there and again, and this is another chance to fuck. There you go.
But
wow.
I'll throw this at you, Brian. Is that the typical female response? Because it sounds like maybe a dude would be more into the the continuous fucking, like, she's got to be a woman. So what is she really interested in?
Power.
Gay? Oh, sorry.
Gay power. Okay.
I think actually I was prepared for this. My upbringing has prepared me for this. Cars and money. Final answer.
Okay, so
I don't want to dispute that at this point, but
how far in the Portal Stones have you gotten?
No, he's gotten far enough to basically say, if I say, what do you mean she calls them friends of the dark instead of dark friends? He's not going to be fucking tipped off by that. What do you mean? Glory. You should be seeking nothing but glory and let Matt kind of die.
And she knows. I mean, like they try to explain how she knows a lot of things about like the world, and like she calls. I forget, what does she call Loyal?
A lantern.
A lantern. It's like, oh, it's because of Kyrion's vast library. That's how she knows all this, which I think is a misdirect. This is an attempt at a misdirect.
Just Tales from the Wheel. Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
She came to that world which can only be accessed via Portal Stone, which requires channeling.
She's the only
she
person.
Says, I'm not an Aes Sedai. Fuck those Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like something a Forsaken would say.
A who?
A what?
I didn't see any of those in the show. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not going to be in the show.
It sounds to me.
But,
to me like this is just a lot of misogyny. Sort of bubbling to the surface here.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil the first thing ever for Brian, but like, congratulations, you're the world's greatest detective. Yeah, you're right.
No, it doesn't break. Look,
yeah, it's like
it's fairly obvious. I think it's fairly obvious. And anybody that's surprised is well, just doesn't pay attention.
I was hoping you wouldn't tell me. I was hoping you'd tell me to read and find out.
No,
or tell me
read and find out.
As far as mysteries go, like, and maybe this is part of the genius of Robert Jordan. It's basically he'll throw you some of these type of mysteries that like any fucking idiot could find out. Like even like Raginor and the people who could barely read, like the 87 IQ crowd that made the fucking show. They all know that Selene, which if you look into it, it's like, what does that word mean? It means moon. What else has been associated with the moon? Fucking land fear. Like, yeah, obviously that's fucking
I totally thought you were going to say Lizzo.
Brian, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have introduced this. Steve's brain is like
I'm running with it
now. He can't get past it. Like he just keeps on. It's just reset.
Fuck, dude.
It's just burrowed in now. I can't. Sorry,
dude.
So you haven't. So you're where are you at in their journey? Like, I guess
chapter 21.
Yeah, I got up to chapter 21. So last thing they get to this village right by Kirian, and Selene vanishes. She just
so they get out.
They don't like that. Yeah, they meet that one dude. I forget his name. That one captain of that's running the dig around the village.
Yeah, in Tremosian. So basically, what's coming up is they escape the Portal Stone world. They make it into Kinslayer's dagger. They're able to secure the horn and the dagger, and then they go through that crazy village with the big statue and Days Daymar. That's where we're at.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, so they get back. So once I forget what chapter. It kind of this chapter ends with leading into the next chapter where they get continually chased by the Grom. There's more Grom as a result, and they get chased up the mountain. And we find out that they go to the stone that where Selene claims to have come from, and they go up there. And we get flicker, and everything. So
you say that, but you don't.
I say that, but I don't.
Yeah, Yeah, we got.
I
flicker,
I
flicker,
say
flicker.
that
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that
No.
you
that's-
get a
yeah.
couple flickers, but you don't get flicker times 27.
Okay, you get flicker, 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 flicker. Is that better?
No,
Yep.
because you
Nailed
don't
it.
get flicker,
Nailed it.
flicker, 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 flicker,
Who
flicker.
are we
flicker.
flickering? Oh, sorry. Right.
I read and find out.
Get off Lizzo for a minute.
It's not Lizzo. This is fucking Robert Jordan, man.
But like,
Full body
yeah,
condom.
like when I was listening to the flicker and I was thinking about it, once again, it brought me back to the winking out effect in the Star Trek episode Alternative Factor, where the entire galaxy or the entire universe went, kind of blinked out of existence for a moment. So sorry, I had to conflate Star Trek with this. This made me think maybe Robert Jordan was a Star Trek fan. He went to study engineering.
But Brent, this is what I've said in kind of offline chats. It's like, keep in mind, this guy did nuclear physics. This guy was versed in quantum mechanics. He looked at alternate realities. Like at this point, I think the characters have talked about, all right, like someone goes left or he goes right. Does that mean you get a pattern for the one that goes left and another pattern that goes right? How many iterations do you get? What does it mean for the dark one to win? What does it mean for the light to win? Does he win in all? Does he win in one? Like, there's a bunch of brilliant physics shit thrown in here. And what I'll say is, this is what differentiates Robert Jordan from most of fantasy lit. Right here, it's the Great Hunt. This is where he comes into his own, as people say, and it's largely because of incorporating physics as fantasy.
Yeah, very, very interesting. It just brings it's like infinite, like what they say in Star Trek, infinite combinations for infinite. Wait, infinite diversity for infinite combinations. There you go. Once again, conflating my favorite show of all time with Wheel of Time, because that's what I do. But yeah,
but it's not conflating, right? And that's what's important about it, right? And that there's weird shit in quantum mechanics that is exactly down this line about all it takes is for it to be true in one instance and it's true in all. And all it takes is for it to be wrong in one instance and it collapses all. And it's those types of fucking paradoxes that quantum theorists were all kind of obsessed with. And what's really great is you take this kind of spooky shit and you throw it into a fantasy story. And and this is, to an extent, I don't like what the show treated. I think they treated the show as kind of like a future history of our world, as opposed to, I don't know. I still kept this as fantasy, right? That this was apart from us. It's apart from linear time, because at the end of the day, if time is circular and it only takes 7,000 years or whatnot to kind of go through a single age, it's not enough time to be the billions and billions that we know have already existed. So I think with that, I'll leave my critique aside, but I still love it.
Honestly, when I was in college, I hated quantum physics. Like, it was just, the whole, theory of relativity and just calculating time dilation was just such a pain in the ass. So Daniel for $2. Brian, did you have a favorite alternate timeline story? For what? For Wheel of Time?
Yeah, Daniel, he hasn't gotten there yet. It's coming, dude. Like, flicker, you're not even there yet.
Okay. Curious where this goes then. So, but yeah, he sees the flame. He pictures the triangle on the stone, and they're back. Just like something out of Back to the Future. We're back. and everything. So they're back in the real world.
Oh God, are we back or are we in chapter 19?
Chapter 18. So we're back with Egwene. We're back with Egwene now for a little bit. We're back with Egwene. So yeah, we get this little training from the Amerlin, and I forget exactly.
This is where we're gonna see Nynaeve training with the sword in season 2 because of this dialogue.
God.
I'll be honest. Once again, like it was funny. Like the Amerlin made a sword appear in her hand and from thin air.
Pips will run you through this, but in the meantime, I'm going to let my dog out for a little walk so I don't have to hear this.
I'm assuming you've seen the scene that we're talking about where Nynaeve is spinning around fighting presumably some warders in the warder practice yard, and she's got a sword. And So exactly.
And I think
Swan the Amerlin
says. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Pips.
I was just gonna say your point is 100%. Swan makes the sword and then is like, "This is stupid. Like this is like why like." This is not worth anything, and she like just gets rid of it. And she talks about how
things that would be considered problematic now, because women are not as strong. I mean, sorry, women are not as strong as men. They're not going to be as effective with the sword. They have to fight in a different way.
I got a brand new idea for some torture for Nerdporeal. We'll make them watch the
I thought you were my friend, Steve.
the season 2 sneak peek. See what he thinks of that. Oh yeah,
I already told him that we could just reenact that scene from Casino Royale with the chair with the hole cut out in the bottom, and he said he'd rather do that than watch more Wheel of Time. So I mean, we've already.
Yeah,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Seriously, I'm with Brian on that one. That's just.
Yeah.
See,
at least when they happened to Daniel Craig, he was laughing at the end of it. Now, was he laughing for a good reason? Well,
we sort of see that
he was laughing because he didn't have to watch the Wheel of Prime.
We sort of see that in the sneak behind. You know, he is strapped to a giant wheel naked, right? So maybe he is getting it in the balls. You don't know.
Oh my God!
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still trapped in Rafe's bedroom because we haven't seen him since.
Right.
So
off camera, there's just Rafe
tickling.
Yeah. Well, and Rand can just laugh and steal the line from James Bond and sit there and say, "I've just been waiting for you to just scratch my balls."
Or he starts. Yeah, I think that's what he said. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I forget. Like this Suwan like creates like this field of like very viscous, like they can't move. They're like kind of, it's like they can't move. That's like the air around them is completely like is really high viscous to the point where they can barely move through it. Everything is just sluggish as hell. And it gets to a point where Nynaeve is kind of like being lifted off of this chair, and then she reacts with anger because Nynaeve, the only way Nynaeve can channel is through the dark side of the Force, or the dark side of the source, the dark side of the source, through anger and everything. So, which is what Suwan is, or what the Amerlin is doing to her, trying to get her pissed off to get her to. I don't know if this was supposed to be a test to see whether or not she was, worthy of being part of the accepted and everything. Kind of curious.
If what? All the stuff that Suwan's
doing? That Suwan's doing.
No. She's just being a bitch.
Oh.
No.
I mean, she's just trying to, and she says a line at the end. She's like, they're right. You can channel when you're angry.
Yeah, coax it
right?
out of her.
She explains what she's doing. And that's pretty much the end of it, right? So it's supposed to show that she, knows how to manipulate people. So the Amerlin does. It's supposed to show that Nynaeve is super powerful, but also like strength in the one power is not necessarily everything, right? It establishes a little bit of sort of the mechanics of like what things can and can't be done with the one power, about flight, about lifting objects, about lifting yourself, those types of things. So like it's honestly, it's just Robert Jordan has lots of these. It's like an interesting lore dump, right? Like there's stuff that the reader needs to know in order to get to the next stuff, and Robert Jordan just comes up with a way that is actually fairly interesting, and it tells you about characters, it tells you about the established characters as well as the new characters, it tells you about the world. It does multiple things at once, and I think it's a good scene for that perspective.
Yeah, it's very scene appropriate information dump. That you're right. It's a good, like you said, it's a lore dump. It really does build up. I think the best part about it is how it builds up Swan as this woman that, even though Nynaeve, overpowers her in an instant, Swan quickly turns the tables and just says, Don't, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, just fucking puts her down,
Yeah.
Oh my! Oh yeah.
So there.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
moving
Yeah.
on. Nate crushed it. That's there's nothing more to say about that topic. So
that's right.
Oh my god.
You dropped Wu-Tang Clan in a fucking Wheel of Time stream, so like now
I know,
we're
right?
obviously done.
It's crossover.
Yeah,
oh man.
And yeah, and we get to see Tar-Valon. They get to Tar-Valon, and yeah. They get to
what was the
Tar-Valon.
first thing they said about Tar-Valon? Do you remember?
It's big.
Here we go.
It's like an island. It's supposed to be an island, but it seems like it's less of an island and more of the river's parting.
Yeah. Well, so when isn't that exactly what you saw on the show?
The book talks a lot about the camels that are in Tar-Valon, and the fact that it mirrors Shadar Logoth architecture.
Yeah, like amazingly close. It's like the same interior
Freaking
decorator.
show.
It's fucking amazing.
I get it now. Jesus Christ.
Was the White Tower super phallic, or was that just a Rafe thing? Like, what
yeah. I think there was a line in there where Nynaeve got turned on.
With 2 balls? Was it that?
Nynaeve just wanted to have sex with the tower itself, and yeah, it was.
Is that why the tower was fucked? Oops. Okay, that was dumb. That was terrible. But it was just. I mean, like there was like every building was like a palace. Like this is a place full of palaces, as it was described, and everything is super duper high. Like towers are really high. There's bridges that interconnect. It was just like pure fantasy right there. Pure fantasy city, place that just looks completely in awe. And of course, built by the Ogier and everything, like after the breaking of the world, I believe. So yeah, I mean, it's not just 3 rooms. It's not just 3 rooms.
Yeah, it's like if you take the Vatican and make it a little more grandiose and magnificent. Then that's the kind of perspective that I felt when I was reading this. No,
I didn't think so.
Might as well be.
But you just, but you just take everything. It's like just this epic scale. Everything is just blown up, and if you think about the biggest palaces in the world, well, they're all located on Tar-Valon, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Is the impression that I got when you get introduced to it here.
Yeah, but here's the sorry, I this is taking longer than I thought it would, but this is the chapter. This is the juicy chapter. This is the one where they where shit really happens, and this was really cool. Like I know we kind of covered this, but yeah, they're back in the real world. They're on what's the name of that Mount Kinslayer's Dagger, and they're waiting, and then they see a fire. And look who it is. It's Patton Fane and his band of hooligans.
Yep.
And well, they now this was tense. Like, I know this won't be in the show because I was actually really entertained by this chapter. Like, there was such great tension. They were sneaking. They were trying their best to sneak into the camp. Everybody, they're all sleeping, and even the Trolloc who's on watch is like, he's up. They're staying quiet, and even the Trolloc falls asleep. So they're sneaking. He grabs the dagger, and then of course, I think Loyal goes in and gets the big giant treasure chest with the horn of Valyr in it. And for a second, I was like, is this like a decoy? For a second, I thought, like, is this a decoy? Like, did they just do that in case in case someone would try and take it? But nope. Apparently, it's the real thing. So expectations were not subverted. You know what? That's okay. And well, I forget what happens, but they wake up. They wake up. They're like, "Oh, it's gone! It's gone! What did you fucking do?" And then they're trying to get away and everything. And Rand engages the Trollocs.
What about the wait? Isn't the revelation of where they are at in doesn't Huron say something about where they are compared to the rest of the party that they left? Perrin's group versus Rand's group when they come out of the portal stone. Because I'm pretty sure Huron makes it that they're now in front of. Well, you're sort of talking about now because I don't know if it's Huron or Rand, but Huron comes out and smells them behind them instead of in front of them.
Yeah,
and says, "How the hell do we get in front of them? Where the hell are we?" And then they figure out they're right out, where they are.
It's not Varen that says that, at least not.
Huron. I thought it was Huron.
Huron. Okay. Yeah, Huron is basically saying, okay, this is weird, what I'm smelling. It seems almost like what I smelled in the previous world was like I was smelling where they were gonna be. And that's kind of where they say, like, all right, combined with what we know of the mirrors of the world or whatnot, the book is maybe
Celine
actually
spelled it out.
Come here. Yeah.
I just realizing they covered a vast distance in a smaller amount of time than the group that is making the same trip.
The one thing that I want to bring up, just because I brought it up earlier because I think it's relevant. It's one of the few things that I've caught where I'm like, I think Robert Jordan actually made an error here. So talking about Patton Fane's ability to sense Rand when he's not in the void, when he's not in the world of dream, sort of Terangrial, Portal Stone, like whatever. If he's on another plane, whatever it is, right? So when he comes back through the Portal Stone in Kinslayer's dagger and is there for a few days, Patton Fane should have sensed that Rand was now ahead of him. He should have had that sense. And so the ambush that happens, it makes sense when he's sneaking up on him because he's in the void as he sneaks into the Trolloc camp. But I admit it's a pretty minor one. It's not necessarily even a mistake. It's just one where I've always thought Patton Fane should have known because he can sense him. I could point the direction that he's in at any time, right?
All depends on proximity.
Except we know that he can. I think he says explicitly, even when they're when he's in Almouth Plain, he always knows which direction. As it's closer, the connection is stronger. But it's almost like an anti-water bond, right?
I mean, I guess you can sort of say it's a mistake, but you can Fane's got a lot going on at the same time too. But I get your point, and I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm not saying definitively that it was a mistake. I'm just saying it's one of those things where as I've read and reread this, I'm just okay, either maybe I'm missing something about the way this works, or I think
Jesus
that it's
Fitz,
just
Yeah, now Pip's like, that's why everyone thinks us
Well,
white
it's
people-
one of those. Well, it's one of those things. It's one of those like,
dicks,
is it
man.
something like he has to think about, or it's just like it's one of those like if he so he's like he hasn't sensed him for a while. I wonder where the fuck Rand is. Fuck it, I'm not worried about it right now. So he's just not concentrating on it. Maybe I don't know. And then when he pops back on the radar, he just doesn't notice. Maybe I don't know. But I think
if it
you're
wasn't.
right.
If it wasn't that they were waiting for days, right? Because we know that they're
Yeah.
waiting for days, and that's why I think that like if it
Yeah,
was like
it's a little
a
strange.
day, then it's like he didn't recognize it because he'd been gone for a while. Rand is in the void for a lot of that time because Celine
Unless
is pushing him and he's practicing.
Maybe Celine's
and
doing
stuff.
something.
But, that's honestly the allowance that I give would be because we know that she's doing stuff. We know
Celine,
that she is.
Celine is very motivated for
And-
him to get the horns. So, like, I mean, she could be fucking around doing stuff too.
But I'm
so.
not sure that she knows Fane's connection to him. So that would seem like a weird thing for her to do. But either way,
She could be shielding herself. She could be. I mean, there's a million things she could be doing. She's a manipulator to the max, right? So I mean,
Brian,
but no,
Yes.
I like your thinking because I think you're absolutely right. There's something there. It's like, was there something going on, or is this just got overlooked because, you know, like you said, him going in, he's concentrating, he's in the void. Okay, you know, it would almost make it a little bit more even interesting if like he's like, what the like if you got a Fane point of view, it's like, well, no, how the fuck is Althor there, and like how is that right?
Yep.
And then he disappears again. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden the horn's gone, right? That could have been interesting too, but I don't know. I think it's cool.
All right,
sorry,
Brian,
one more derailment. Sorry, Brian.
No, good.
I was away for a bit, but are we up to chapter 21 yet?
Well, I think he's
we're
about
on
to end the
19.
stream, anyways,
Oh,
right?
shit.
Aren't you close to done?
We're almost done. We're almost
Okay.
done. 2 chapters left. The last 2 chapters is basically to me a single chapter, split. You know, my opinion. So, but yeah. So they flee. They're like, oh, I like how like Celine's like, oh, yeah, we need to. I want to rest, and they're like, no, please, I want to rest. I'm like, no, we gotta leave. And Rand's like, no, we gotta leave. He's gonna sniff us. He's gonna be onto us if we don't get out of here. And so they leave. So
Man, you're heading into the city with him, so there's some good stuff you're about to head right into.
yeah, and so I was curious, like, what was going to happen with this next chapter. So they get to I think this one village or something. I forget the name of it.
Tremosian.
Tremosian.
That's
I think.
play on it.
I always called it Tremalking.
Oh, but that's maybe a deliberate corollary, which, yeah. All right.
Apparently.
So, Brian,
the
this
giant
is a
statue,
chapter.
right?
Yeah. So this is a chapter that you read, and you're just like, why the fuck is this thrown in the middle of my chase scene, right? I am totally hell-bent on Rand. He got the horn. He's running. Everything's about getting this. How does he get back to his friends? And now I get something weird about a statue in the middle of nowhere and a Baal Doman reference about a hand on an island somewhere. Yeah. Guess what? The hand on the middle of an island, that's more important than your main plot. Welcome to the Wheel of Time.
Nah, that's not important. Move on.
What happened?
Lizzo.
Oh my god.
Fuck you
Okay,
guys.
I'll go get the picture again for you. Shit. Jacob said
I got rid of it. I closed it.
I have it right here with the flute.
Oh man.
The flute
Is that what
version.
Mag sent you? Damn it.
No, Mag sent me a bunch of freaking giant.
God. Oh shit.
Oh, did you just meme yourself?
That wasn't me.
Oh,
I didn't
that was
do that
perfect.
shit.
That was perfect. Oh, love that.
The best part
Yeah.
about this whole White Cloaks thing is basically I meme myself into pips. So anytime anyone ever memes what I'm famous for into anything, it's basically, yeah, that Family Guy, double-eyed, yeah, exactly. That horse, it's what I'm famous for. But
You're the horse. You're the one horse.
You've seen the meme, I hope.
I don't think so.
Oh, good God. Give me a second.
Share the meme.
How do I
we can move on.
fucking...
You can
The
share it, though.
fucking horse
All right.
meme? Oh my god.
It's coming
How
back.
have you not seen the horse meme?
The only thing I can think of is the cow scene in Top Secret with the two guys in the cow suit.
Yeah. So while Dane is pulling up the legendary horseman, so let's see. You got the crystal hand. Rand approaches the edge, and he has a moment, right? He's doing a thing. What does he say? Like what's that process for him? What's that dialogue? What does he do? Like
it sounded like he was saying the stuff that Aiel girl that they recalled that came back.
Yep.
And said this thing about sight blinder or sight binder, blinder's eye and teeth bared.
Sight blinder's eye.
Spit in
on
sight
the last day.
On the last day, yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea what any of that means. So, but it was just the follow.
I think you picked up the important part.
Yeah.
Just the connection to the Aiel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wasn't that mentioned in the Eye of the World by a certain individual?
That was by the people with the leaf, the Tuathon. They're recounting this story to Elias.
Tinkers, dirty tinkers.
Tuathon tinkers. Yep.
Yeah, bastages.
Tuathon.
And then, of course, yeah, we remember that the hand. I think he recalls. Tremalking. Bail Doman remembers. He tells him about the hand with the sphere on the island of Tremalking or something. But yeah, it's just like, and what's funny is like Celine is just like, don't do it, Rand, don't go near that thing. What are you doing? It's like the thing is like she just like it's hard to not be like she knows stuff. She's not who she says she is. That's I mean, like I said.
So that's an interesting question. So it seems so obvious, right? Like, what kind of idiot wouldn't see what's going on? So you got any theories? Why is it that everybody in the group is just like, yeah, this Celine chick, she seems legit, and she's so hot.
Sorry,
any thoughts?
That screen share took me forever. Where are we in this whole convo?
Just them getting into Tremoncian and Celine being sus, and why does nobody think she's sus?
Oh, wait,
because I think she just has that magical effect on them. She just like Rand is like Rand wants to kiss her. Like she can. I think this is just something that she can just naturally do.
No, she's fucking hot. Also, Friends of the Dark versus Dark Friends.
Dark Friends is considered
a pejorative. Friends,
it's a negative. It's basically it's like calling someone racist, a bad person. Dark friend of the dark,
like calling them a white cloak.
A friend of the dark has a more positive connotation as opposed to dark friend.
Yeah, it's like racist versus friend of the race. I kid, but not really. But yeah, it is. But yeah. Anyways, sorry. That's like, all right, dude. Our guy is not fucking like IQ 60, like Forrest Gump. Like he figured out Celine, the like moon chick, is Lanfear. Yeah.
Did you say I have an IQ of 60?
No, I said you didn't. I said you had it above 60.
I mean, it might be true, but still, you know.
No, like that would be pretty mean to say to you, but I'm said like you clued in on it like everybody who can read.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, just gotta pay attention to the details. That's what matters, you know. You gotta be
Now,
skeptical.
That being said, I'm not so sure about everyone who can read because I'm pretty sure they're not going to do this in the show.
Oh no, absolutely not.
They don't have the budget.
That requires reading the
good
material
writing.
first.
Yeah, they'll fuck it up somehow. Like I don't know how, but they'll fuck it up. But yeah, anyways.
I mean,
yeah.
everything that I liked in this book so far is not going to be in the show. I just know it for a fact. It's like they it's not like you don't want to show. It's too hard to make exciting, compelling scenes, even though it's laid out right in front of you. You know, it was written by a good author, and
can't have that. He was white.
You can't adapt that because it's too hard to adapt. I guess, you know. What can I say?
It's not Harry Potter.
So we're getting up to the end of Tremoncian when there's a good scene and exchange between Rand and the innkeeper. There's some good world building that happens there. You have the Kyrian and captain, the introduction to the game of houses, right?
Yeah.
You have Hurin.
Dace Damar.
Yep.
I like and
you have Hurin who's dropping some knowledge.
Yeah, Dice Damar. Can't help but think of the Deep Space Nine character, but that's I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, we like it was interesting, like because they like they come in there. He's dressed like a lord, so they're all like laying out the red carpet for him and everything. Huron is dismissed as like a servant or like an indentured servant or something, so they don't even notice him at all. Like I like this chapter for the world building. There wasn't the tension element to it, but it was still interesting enough to get me through it to really enjoy. Like you said, they talk about the statues from the Age of Legends, which I mean I knew right away. That was obviously the head was obviously Lews Therin. It's just interesting hearing about the game of the great game and everything. Kyrian, I can't wait till we get there and see you. I'm curious, like to me going to Kyrian is kind of like me looking forward to them going to Camelin in Eye of the World. So I'm curious if there's any parallels or if it's going to be totally different. If we're going to meet the king, or maybe there's another princess, or maybe there's a prince, or maybe there's more characters. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad. I can't wait to see what goes on.
Sweet summer child.
They could be. No, I'm not going to say it.
I know Kyrian's coming up. I looked at the names of the chapters. Kyrian, I believe, is chapter 25. So that's the chapter after this one. So next stream we'll be covering it likely, right?
So
I would hope so.
So you went through that chapter Sidene, chapter 20, and I hope you picked up on that whole Baal Doman connection.
Yeah, they talked about Tremalking.
Yeah. So here's the question. So obviously, what Baal Doman said in the beginning of the Eye of the World and what Rand is experiencing now, they're connected. But what do you think that is? What is that object?
It's a statue, obviously.
The sphere is maybe it's Borg. I don't know.
It's Spren. Oh wait, wrong story.
I have no idea.
It's a big mixing bowl. That's where they make the cocktails.
Maybe it's a transporter. Because the Age of Legends is basically the 25th century, right?
That's Lizzo's house.
I mean, there's
ignore all the Lizzo
travel in the Age of Legends. Traveling, back in time. Worlds beyond worlds.
Okay, but
I'm sorry, the show is really fucked with me. I can't help it.
No, but let's approach it from a different side. But assuming us applauding your reading comprehension, and we know that Celine is Lanfear. What is Lanfear's reaction to all this?
She tells him to get away from it.
She gets hot.
And she gets pissed.
Why?
Because she's a bitch, man.
I
think that, what did she say, stubborn? Or was that the chapter before? I forget exactly.
Yeah, he is stubborn, but like, what is fundamental? Like, if you're Lanfear,
she was afraid. He noted that she was afraid when she talked to him after the thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she says, "You terrified me, and I don't frighten easily."
And if you're one of the 13 most powerful people that have ever lived, what terrifies you?
Somebody more powerful.
You ain't gonna get it because he hasn't told him yet. Relax, he'll get there.
No, I know he will, but these are the breadcrumbs we got to drop kind of early and be like, all right, yeah, you're reading this stuff, you're getting you're digging into.
It'll make sense when you get there,
right?
But
he'll catch the breadcrumbs on his own.
In part,
Robert Jordan is dropping the breadcrumbs. We can leave it to him.
Yeah. All we're saying
He's still
is
got to do this a second time around and catch them too.
To get all of them, you got to reread the series like a dozen times to get all of them. But he's getting it right, and what I like is basically, all right. He knows that Celine is sus from the get-go. He had a good theory about what was going on. He was able to draw conclusions, like, because we're all warning him, like, you got to pay attention with this shit. And that's the difference between reading this in the 90s on your own versus reading it now or later with a community that's vested with you trying to learn this stuff and encouraging you. Is without a community telling me, oh, pay attention to this part, you might not necessarily get the Baal Doman connection between a hand on an island and a hand with a globe in the middle of Kyrian in some obscure chapter that's like 800 pages long, this book, right? So anyways, that's what I think. I think it's great, Brent. You're hitting on the right spots. You're getting all the right bits. You're paying attention to the right spots. Just stoked to see where it goes from here for you.
Yeah, I can't wait. So, yeah, I think would be, I mean, what ultimately happens as a result. So, like they send Celine, she goes to her room. She doesn't want to be around. She doesn't trust anybody in this Nine Rings inn. We meet Eldrin.
Nine Rings?
Yeah, Nine Rings.
Where have we heard that before?
Never. Unless there's a universe, unless Middle Earth is one of those universes that is other than, that's part of the wheel.
Wait. What does Rand say about the Nine Rings in his inner monologue?
Episode.
One of his favorite stories growing up as a boy.
Okay, I didn't think of that. Until you said it. Okay. Oh, interesting. Is that self-insertion? Are you saying?
Yeah, man. Like, but that's what's so beautiful about it. Is he gets lambasted constantly? Like, though the Eye of the World is basically the Lord of the Rings redone. It's like, yeah, of course, to a point, right?
Well, did you guys say that it was because the publisher kind of forced him to write it that way?
Yes and no, but I mean, like, to a point, right? It's, if you're trying to like mark yourself as like, all right, I'm striving off from fantasy in the main direction, you have to do the homage to what came before. Right. So but if you haven't seen Pips's video about Easter eggs, which maybe if you're not a subscriber, you haven't seen, but it'll be out soon. But this is precisely one of those, but it's a literary one. And this is one that, as he points out, it doesn't detract from the story. It doesn't, like the chapter, The Nine Rings, is not about the Nine Rings, right? It's an inn that they go to and stuff happens, and Rand has a great dish of peppers and pork and whatnot. But at the end of the day,
Yeah, if the chapter or pork from the way it sounded.
Yeah, but if the chapter was called something else, like The Five Rings, it wouldn't have made a difference to the story. Right? That's the difference between an Easter egg and a fucking self-insert, in my view. So I thought it was great.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the author inserts himself into all of his characters. I mean, that's just how I see it.
Loyal more than anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Loyal and Tom both have a lot of aspects of Jordan's character, but so does Parent. I mean, honestly, I think you're right. He's a part of all of them, which is one of the reasons that we at the White Cloaks have talked about why the show is such an insult, because it's not just an insult to the story and the world. Like, those characters that they're subverting the expectations of, they're literally taking aspects of Robert Jordan, his life, his worldview, his outlook, his philosophy, his experiences, and they're twisting them into something that he never meant to portray to the audience. Anyway, sorry for the sidetrack.
No, I agree. I totally agree with that. So, what do I think this sounded like? I don't understand.
You were saying the pork and peppers in Tremoncian. You said it sounded like something. I didn't quite catch
sweet
it.
And sour pork. Sound like sweet and sour pork. Chinese.
Was that wholly in your own head, or did I influence you in any way?
No, the book. No, Mr. If it was anybody, it was Mr. Jordan's words. He said it was sweet and it was, sweet and it was strong, I believe was the word he used. And
Dane and I had an argument about this. Don't worry about it.
It was a thick sauce. It was a thick sauce. So I mean, it was either that or it was just simply pork and vegetables. You know, it was definitely a place. It was definitely something I get from a Chinese place. You know, in my parts right here. So it either be. He didn't say it was brown gravy. It might have been clear gravy. You know, and I know now we're talking food.
He said it was clear.
Hey, I mean, Pips, I know you say you like to try to make Wheel of Time dishes. Have you made this? Have you tried to make the pork and the yellow peppers and the peas?
I've made it. I've made a version of what I think it is. At some point I'm gonna do a video of some Wheel of Time cooking. I have a plan for it, but it's
I definitely watch. I love cooking. I watch cooking videos like quite a bit. You know,
just tell me you're gonna dress up like Rachel Ray and do it in 30 minutes.
I'm actually gonna put a rubber horse head mask on.
Do it. Some yellow pepper pork.
That was my Rachel Ray impression. Since she's on all.
May have been the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Exactly. That's what she sounds like now. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh shit!
You got to be careful with those Rachel Ray impressions. You might say something that gets you canceled.
Whatever. Screw her.
Yeah.
Her and her crappy ass pots and pans.
I kind of want to make it now. I kind of want to try to make the pork and the.
You want to make Rachel Ray?
No, but like this fucking diced pork and yellow peppers. It sounds like a great fucking dish, especially if you've never had it before, right? Like Rand. It's great.
All right, what else you got for us, Brian?
Not much. I mean, it's just they're leaving. What's his name? How's it? Caldwin, I think is his name.
Caldwin, yeah.
Yeah, he just they meet him. I'm curious if he's a very important character down the line. But they send I
think we meet him again. Gosh, Dane probably knows.
If we meet him again, he's not important.
Okay. But he sends some of his men to escort Rand and them to Kyrian. So, and that's basically it. And Celine is gone. They send Celine to a room. She feels, I think, sick or something. She gets her own room, and then she sneaks out. Nobody knows how she got out because Caldevlin had the place watched. So she either snuck out or she vanished. And she says, "I think I'll be near if you don't. I'm not gone forever. I'll be back, and I'll be nearer than you think." I think is how she left her message or something.
Something like
I was
that.
just like, I was like, I know there's way. I mean, I was like, that reinforced my belief, my theory.
Plus, it's sealed with in a certain way with a certain symbol. So if you're paying attention.
And yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at the Great Hunt right now. So I think next time I try to do 22 through 35. So I got 2 weeks. Got 2 weeks to get there. So yeah. So guys, thanks for doing this. It's been 3 hours. This was poorly planned because I was reading to the final. I was reading and doing my intro to like the last minute. So that this is complete. Once again, this is completely on me to be a little bit more efficient and a little bit more planning of my streams. So thank you for bearing with me. I know you guys all have to get up early. I know Pips, I know you have to get up early. So I'm sorry that we kept this longer than I usually would do it. So, and Dane, thanks for joining us, bringing your insight into this. And Nathan, thanks for being here all this time.
A fish can't touch the moon, Brian.
No, fish can't touch the moon, or can they?
But did you note that? Did you note that a fish can't touch the fucking moon?
And birds can't teach fish to swim.
Steve's gonna get his keyboard back out.
Yeah. I don't know what edition you have, but this was covered in this fucking section, page 232 of the hardcover. A fish can't fucking touch the moon. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's extremely important down the line.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's extremely important with this fucking show where they fucking bastardize Swan Sanche's character, where she basically is the one who says that like fucking aphorism, a fish can't touch the moon, instead of trying to contradict it. But fuck, a fish can't touch the moon.
All right, I learned something here. Fish.
No, you really didn't. You really honestly didn't. This is like a throwaway comment from one side character to another about how the magic works, and if you're trying to reason out how, like, well, that fish can't touch the moon. All right, fine, done. But then they threw it into the fucking show like a fucking Easter egg.
I have a question now.
All right. Yeah, good.
Might be far out there. I might be crazy for asking this.
You're not.
But based on what I've seen so far, do they go to the moon?
No.
Are you sure? It
Yes.
sounds like they will go.
Wait, no.
Like,
okay, so
this is branching into space fantasy. This is getting. I mean,
I say no because I've read the books, but I hesitate because I've seen the show. They might
it's
go
okay.
to the moon.
It's okay if they do. I mean, Final Fantasy IV, there are 2 moons in that world, and they go to the moon. That's where
They might go to the moon, and they might have a weave that like channels bubbles of air around their heads.
Like, I'm curious if Shale Ghul is actually a portal to the moon, and that's where the true villain, that's where the Dark One is actually located.
What is happening?
Located on the moon.
Like, when did we get into the Cosmere?
No,
What the fuck is
Steve,
going
they
on
might
here?
go. They might go to the moon because this fucking show.
They're not going to the fucking moon. They're not going to the fucking moon.
Wait, no, fuck
There's
you.
no fish up there. Lizzo's
they-
the moon. We all know that. And there's a fish up her
Wait,
butt. Let's
but
move
Steve, would you rule it out at this point?
on. Yes,
No,
absolutely.
You wouldn't.
If they go to the
Wait,
moon
wait,
and
no,
the
wait,
Great Hunt, no, I'm
would you
good,
rule
yeah.
it out? No, not Great Hunt. Ragnar. The whole fucking 8 seasons.
They
or
don't know.
whatever.
They don't know how to get to freaking Chattanooga. They're not going to the moon. They
Yeah,
can't
just
frickin-
like
they're gonna
teleport
drown.
with,
They
like,
can't make a
no,
boat.
just like hand wave fucking power. It does it. They go to the moon.
Sure, why not? They'll just bring
It
Mars.
depends
to
on
them.
what you mean by moon and what you mean by fish. And
Fuck
see my
off,
last
yeah.
comment in the chat.
All right, you guys. All right, let's. All right, so thanks once again. Thanks for bearing with me, and I'm sorry for all the derailings that I allowed to happen, but that's all on me. It's not on anybody else. So
Except me.
So what you guys got going on? Let's start with Steve. What's going on with you?
Nothing. I got shit
Absolutely
going on.
nothing. Didn't you?
I don't know,
put
man.
out two, like 2 videos
I have
this weekend.
Sure. I know. I've
Tell us, what
been
did you
working
do?
all weekend.
What did you do?
What did I do all weekend?
No, I mean, what videos did you put out?
Oh well, the Prey one I enjoyed. Me and Daniel talked about that shitty ass movie Prey, which is probably one of the shittiest movies ever made on and put on fucking Hulu.
Oh,
that's how shitty it is.
Is that Predator movie that was filmed like?
It's not a Predator movie. It's a fucking shit movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying it's filmed where they filmed the Last of Us.
There's a Predator in there, but he's stupid. But yeah, the stupidest Predator ever put on screen. But yeah.
Okay, whatever. It's like
about the alien, right? Not the pedophiles.
Alberta film industry just
both
digging a fucking hole. Whatever.
I mean, good for Alberta. Cash in on the fucking people that don't know how to make movies.
Fuck that. We used to win fucking Oscars all the fucking time.
That was imaginary. Canadians are good
no,
enough.
Fuck you. Legends of the Fall, fucking Unforgiven.
Oh my God, Dave. You're so drunk, man.
And then Green Lantern happened, and you get no more after that.
No, fuck that. That was fucking a Vancouverite fucking Ryan. You go east of the fucking Rockies and you make good.
What was that?
East of the Rockies.
I didn't hear you.
Fuck you. Like, okay. Brian, unmute me.
You're unmuted, dude.
I'm saying east of the Rockies. Legends of the Fall. Fucking The Revenant. Fucking, like, even...
Who's Revenant? What?
The one that finally won fucking Leo his Oscar. And then you got
the one
Inception.
that the bear fucked him? Is that the one we're talking about? The one where the bear got Leo?
Yeah, the bear fucking mauled him and it was all great. And what...
Oh my God, I'm crying. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the one with the Bear Brothers, just like Rafe Judkins wanted.
Fuck you! Fuck!
What are you doing?
No.
I'm taking your email off, dude. This is unacceptable behavior.
It is. It's very unacceptable. Like, per capita, this fucking landscape has won more Oscars than you fucking won.
I have too much power. It's gone to my head. I'm sorry, Dane.
No.
I said before, he's drunk on power. We're just drunk.
I'm drunk on. I live in the most beautiful place on earth. If you guys doubt
I'm sure
me,
you do. No, it is beautiful up there. I'm not going to.
If you guys doubt me, like, I'll bring you guys up here. Like, you guys are welcome anytime. You stay with me, and I'll show you some fucking great fucking vistas and shit, and you'll understand why. Even though there are a whole bunch of movies out there that have nothing to do with this landscape, they'll try and set it in this landscape precisely so that they can win an Oscar.
I forget, you said you're in Calgary, right?
Yeah, Calgary and the surrounding area.
I've been around there. It like back when I was younger with my ex. It is beautiful. It is very beautiful up there. I won't deny you that.
Excuse me.
So Prey sucks. I don't know how we got on that. So Prey's terrible.
Yeah, we got on it because it was filmed out here, and it was apparently dog shit
from people. So
maybe, they're dumb.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know what they were watching, but when you tie a rope to an axe, it doesn't fly. That's all. That's all I know. It sort of ruins the movie.
See, maybe there might be a point where me and you might disagree on something.
Watch
maybe,
it, and
maybe it's like mixing matter and antimatter.
Maybe I guess, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, they dumped the retarded idiot predator on planet Earth and said, "Go, kill a dog."
As far as I'm concerned,
wait.
Like, there's 2 Alien movies, there's 2 Terminator movies, there's 2 Predator movies.
Yep. Agreed. I'm right there with you. Because this is not a Predator movie.
I actually like Predators.
They
It
sent
was
the
it was
predator
the
after
best
the
out of the
Native
worst.
Americans.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, I
the-
like if I had to watch one of the new generation of Predator movies, that would probably be the one I watch because the rest are just even worse, especially Prey.
All right, so Steve. You said what you got going on. What about you, Nathan? What's going on with you? You got any fun? You have anything? Any projects you want to promote?
Just I've got to get back in the swing of things on editing. That's how I would do the Wheel of Time, honoring
How's
the Wheel series.
how's your YouTube? What's your YouTube status like? Are you able to stream now, or what's going on with that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I got that sort of fixed. I can stream. It's on a slightly connected channel that I'm gonna call live at Manetheren. So if I do end up streaming, it would be through that channel. Um, and so eventually, one of these days, we'll do that. It's some really weird horse shit it's because YouTube doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with their technology. So nothing new there. So, but yeah, other than that, not much going on at the moment. Eh, just enjoying life.
Okay, enjoying life and gathering artifacts and making sure they're in a museum.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Most of those artifacts are bottles of bourbon.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate you being here for this
Oh, thanks for
long
having me, man.
time and everything. Pips, Stain, what's going on with the White Cloaks? What do you guys got? You guys got stuff going on. Isn't something going on Saturday that I might possibly be contributing to coming up?
wait, but
Maybe?
Peps,
Possibly.
this is an honest question for me. Like we're doing our Lord of the Rings read through, but I see that.
Oh,
Are we doing next Saturday a Wheel of Time fan edit at the same time?
Different times. So the Lord of the Rings book club, I think we said, is going to be noon Eastern on Saturday. Is that match your recollection? I think that works early enough on a
believe so.
Saturday that
I,
Nate gets
I don't
to
have a recollection because I drink too much. Come on.
So that's going to be the White Cloaks plus Amanda Manetheren. I think we might start rotating some extra guests in, but Dane, do you remember which chapters we're covering off the top of your head by any chance?
1 through 6
not,
or 1 through 7?
Something
6.
like that. Yeah.
Old Forest.
6. Cool.
To the
one.
Old Forest.
Cool. So if you guys want to do sort of a read along, we're going to be doing it. I don't know, somewhat like this a little bit. Not so much with like spoilers and stuff. We're just going to be appreciating a good fantasy story. We're going to be talking about it with some fans. Dane went and got himself that amazing copy that he's got there. Nate already had like a really, really awesome copy, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're just gonna have a good time, talk about a good book. We're gonna go through. The goal is to go through all 3 of the books and all 3 of the movies. So we'll do the books, we'll do the movies on our Discord and channel as well. But we're just a palate cleanser. There's been such absolute schlock in the fantasy genre for the last decade that I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I read Lord of the Rings, and some other people were up for a reread as well. So we're going to do that. And then 10 p.m. Eastern, also on Saturday, because it meets his schedule. We're finishing up the Wheel of Time fan edit with the mind behind the Wheel of Time fan edit himself. He's going to be back with us doing kind of director's commentary a little bit like we did this last week. It's a pretty interesting conversation. I enjoyed the conversation. I know Steve, you guys were struggling, but he was an excellent guest. I'll say that. I think he was a really excellent guest. I really liked talking with him, and we talked to him afterwards in the Discord channel for a while as well. And just a really fun guy to talk to. I think from South Africa, but really, really cool guy. So we'll be doing that. And then also published to our premium subscribers right now. It'll get released on the channel sometime this week is a video about like Easter eggs and the genre of adaptations and expanded sort of universes in film. And then I think Alex and Lady Balefire finally finished editing their stuff, a 3-part series on them ripping apart another Wheel of Time channel's reaction to something. It was soul crushing. They went for like 3 hours. It's a hoot to watch the two of them just kind of riff off each other, though. So you can check that out. And then Alex is working on I guess a retrospective similar to on Perrin, talking about Robert Jordan, his journals, his writing, his character, and sort of life outlook, and the things and traits he embodied into the character of Perrin. So look for that to drop on the White Cloak sometime, maybe this week or next week. I think Alex has said Wednesday, but we'll see. He's a busy guy. So yeah, we're continuing to do stuff on the White Cloaks channel. Yeah.
Speaking on that, I don't want to promise anything like near term, because I thought what would be great is to go through all of the fucking White Cloaks rewatches and like share some of our inside jokes. But I've been watching.
Dan is ruining his liver on this.
I've been watching through these at like 2 times speed, but it's fucking it's 41 fucking episodes of these shits. Like it's like 50 fucking hours.
Like, dude, like
I know, but they're inside jokes and they're funny, right?
No, I'm not saying they're not. It's
Perrin,
so hard.
close your fucking mouth.
Yeah. It's so like like the guy that did the edit. It seems like a really cool guy. Like he like nothing, but it's so hard sitting through that fucking show again.
I know.
Like between like I watched it the first fucking time, which was horrible. Then I watched it parts of it with you guys, which was fun to rip on it, but horrible. Then I watched it with Nerdporeal, which was fucking goddamn horrible. I got a keyboard on the ground to prove it, and it's still fucking there. I've been busy. It's now surrounded by Legos and shit because it's just like a fucking graveyard down there. And this fucking show, man.
Yeah, you're like, Dad, you're a psycho, Dad.
He's just placing Lego bags around it. It's like
I'm saying is
it's so hard.
There are certain inside jokes from the whole fucking like rewatch that I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to like just do a mashup? Like, and it'll only be like 27 minutes long of us making fun of this particular
thing. You
got
just get somebody to make some cool memes for like
emojis
for you, or not even memes,
Perrin,
but emojis.
Close your mouth.
There you go. You just need have somebody make you a big ass fucking Perrin emoji with his mouth wide open, going duh, and there you go.
Except I need to find every instance of us mentioning this in the whole 47 hours of the rewatch, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I can tell you this, I'm on episode 11 of the rewatch. And it's taken me like 7 weeks. So.
I would imagine.
He's got a spreadsheet for all the time clips. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we ever get there.
Surprisingly, there's like 3 episodes where we don't mention it at all.
Well, it's probably because none of the boys were in it. Perrin wasn't in those episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
we have fun.
All right. Thanks, guys, for doing this with me. So, only thing I have planned coming up next Sunday, I'm going to be doing a 2K celebration stream because I just hit 2K yesterday. So, yeah, I am now part of the 2K club. So let the ghosting commence. Let the ghosting commence and all. So, but yeah, it was good. It's good knowing you. It's good knowing you guys. So
yeah, bye, man. You're too big time.
So, yeah, I'm part of the. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, just gonna have a stream, probably talk, just like my birthday stream, just you guys are welcome to be on, and I'm gonna probably bring people on board as or I'll probably rotate people out if anybody wants to come on and whatever, kind of like we did with Better Call Saul. Remember we did that, Steve?
Yeah, you're too much of a big timer for me now, man. I don't know.
You're not that far. You're not that far behind me. You might even pass me. You make another Wheel at Prime Rage video. You're definitely gonna pass me, dude.
There's already one of those up. I just put one of those up yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
you're gonna get another 200 subscribers within.
No, we'll see, buddy. We'll see. That's my goal, to get even with you. We'll just cruise together.
Yeah. So I mean, come on, we gotta build each other up like Goku and Vegeta. We gotta build each other up.
Like you. I don't know. We gotta get. I don't know why the White Cloaks are stuck at 4:30. Like I keep checking. You guys have been stuck there for like
what
a
can
month.
We do? Like,
there's
something I plan
to Indians.
There's something I do plan to in my Eye of the World.
Actually, you did a few times. If I can.
Not me. If I could defend myself. It's a Wheel of fucking Time channel.
I think on a live stream we mentioned how the Wheel of Time show would have been better if it was made by Bollywood, or just Indian,
I disagree.
Tollywood, any of them.
No, and I'll continue to disagree. Like it's a Wheel of Time channel. There's certain branching out that I don't necessarily agree with, but I'm not in charge of the channel. I'm just brought like out from time to time from my cage to basically be like, hey, like rattle the old fan base. So I agree with my role, but the whole point, the thing is like, sorry, Pips, our channel's not about growing it to get monetized, because quite honestly, like
exactly
not our goal. It's a point of pride that we all
it's a pure hobby.
But it's also a point of pride that we suck.
Oh, that's not true.
No,
it is for me.
Okay, it is for you, but the other two are fine.
Yeah.
Brian, control your panel. Mute him, Brian.
Okay, you got it. Here we go. I'll mute all around. All right, you're all muted.
You mean
I'm control? Oh, he unmuted himself. Damn it. All right. I relinquished.
Mute me.
So
all right.
A point of pride that we all suck is a phrase that Rafe uses in a very different way.
Not
that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There kind of is, and it's like this one.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Exactly.
You do
not
you.
That there's anything wrong with that.
Hey, that's one of the things I learned from Seinfeld. Like that.
We still have Morocco.
Yeah. Been saying this for years. So, all right, but guys, thanks for joining. This has been an hour longer than it should have been. So this is purely on poor planning on my part, because I need to be more professional. I need to be professional like Pips and the White Cloaks and Steve and Nathan. I need to.
Right.
Yeah, I got to work on my professionalism and everything.
I'll think I'm muting everybody. What are you talking about?
Like I said, once again, thanks everybody. Stay Nerdporeal. May the wings of Nerdporeals carry you to the next Wheel of Time video or stream, which will be in 2 weeks, and there will be an Eye of the World video eventually. So, everybody,
hi, Sharman Etherin.
Have a good night.
See you guys.
It sucks.
End it.
And let's begin.
That before too.
Products out there. So more to come on the White Cloaks.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Don't ask any questions. Consume White Cloak's product and be excited for next White Cloak product. RLM right there.
That's good.